30-year veteran of publishing comic books, making stories and characters, and I am really excited to have back into our gang and our group, our motorcycle club of COMICSGATE, Hail Wenger. Wenger is back, the creator.
That's my motorcycle.
Baby. The creator, the publisher, the man behind Super Harem, the amazing book. Now, this is my book, College of the Dead, and we're closing it out. We only have about 30 hours left on it. It's 91% funded, so we're going to do our best to push that over into 100% plus. But I also want you to take a look at Super Harem right quick and get a chance to see this book. A lot of people are excited about Super Harem, and we tweeted around about it for about a week or so while Wenger was away. But we didn't get a chance to really talk about it as much as we would love to because we didn't have access to Wenger. But now we have, and Wenger is coming back with stories and interesting stuff that was going on while he was on his cruise. Some really strange coincidental things that tell you that there is a spirituality to writing and creating comics, especially with what we're doing. And I hope you don't mind. I'm going to stay fixed on this picture. And
that's a good place to be.
That's a great place to be. I would love it if you would just talk a little bit about well, let's just talk about what Super Harem is, and then let's talk a little bit more about your trip.
Well, Super Harem is it's a funny story. It's got a lot of fun action in it. It's a fun adventure story. It's raunchy humor, like a sexy comedy, like something about Mary or Road Trip. It's a guy, he's an ordinary guy, but he has this weird power that any woman he sleeps with is imbued with superhuman abilities. So, but the downside to that is that sometimes it summons these giant monsters. So there's a huge drawback to these powers, and it's kind of put him in a existential crisis because you have to think about what would your life be like if every time you had sex you could destroy the world. It would be pretty miserable, and that's what our protagonist is. A sad little guy, he's not having a good time. You think that powers like that would be fun. It's not fun to be Tim. That's our protagonist's name. We're doing really well, and I appreciate everybody. Really, Adam and my other homies, they kept it going while I was away. I made about $500 while I was on vacation. Wasn't even here. I owe you guys a huge debt of gratitude for keeping it out there.
We love seeing your book do well. We love seeing you do well, seeing your book do well, because you're totally COMICSGATE. You're out there helping other people with their campaigns. You've been really helpful to me too. And you have a very cool concept. It's a very cool idea.
Well, I really appreciate you guys. You definitely held down the fort. But what we got going on right now, we're just a couple $100 away from hitting our stretch goal of 12K, which means the whole book is going to be in color.
Now, your book is how many pages? I apologize because I know I've asked you this a couple times. Can't remember stuff. So I got to ask you, how many pages is this book planned to be?
It's 48 pages, but if we get 24K, we're going to double that.
All right. So right now it's 48 pages, and you might double it. That's a lot of pages. So you may double it if you get to 48K. You will double it.
We will. If we get to 24K, we're going to double the pages. So it's going to be a complete story. As it is, it'll have to be in 2 different parts.
Wow. That is pretty fantastic. And then, hey, even if it's in 2 parts, then you can eventually collect it.
Yeah. I actually, it's been like a snowball. Like we started off really slow, and as it's gone on, it's just been getting bigger and bigger, and I really believe we're going to get that other stretch goal. So if you get in, you're going to get twice the book that you paid for when we hit that goal.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. Now you are pretty close to the stretch goal already. What total are you at now?
It's can you scroll up?
I can,
I
but I
can't
didn't want
remember the
to take
exact
away from the visual
number.
screen. You're at wow, 11,747.
Yeah, so we're very close.
Yeah, it's going to happen. In fact, I think you were talking about this just like last night, and it was a few $100s less. So
Yeah, we've made money just today. I
that's
went ahead and I paid my colorist to start working because I'm that confident that we're going to get there. And I know that when you see him when he finishes a few pages, it's just going to get people more jazzed about it.
absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So is the person who colored this your colors for the interior?
I wish that Carl O'Rowe did that. He's doing Deathsworn.
Oh
I know
yeah,
you've
that's
seen
one.
that. I wish I had Carl O'Rowe doing colors.
Uh-huh.
He's, he's great. My colorist is Josh, and he's a good buddy of mine. He's got a weird last name. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Van Houteren or something like that.
Okay,
But
John.
he's very good, and you're really going to be stoked when you see what he does.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, your book is really exciting looking, and there is a whole second book planned, and you'll see how far this goes within demand. And so, are you starting on the second part of the story now already?
I do need to. I've got like the basic outline. I need to sit down and actually like finish writing it
Okay.
because like I said, I'm confident that we're going to hit that goal. So Joe is going to need that script pretty soon. I believe that.
And he's going to be able to. He has time to get cracking.
Yeah, but the second part is going to be even crazier than the first part because we're going to see the bigger world that Super Harem takes place in. It's this very strange world where pretty much everything that Alex Jones says is true. It's a world of conspiracy theories, of Illuminati, of
No,
other worlds. It's a very strange world, and it's actually we're going to see that in the second part
it sounds like
and who the real villains are.
yeah, it sounds like a hell of a lot of fun, and it's a really sharp looking book. And this is sexy stuff too. But if you really look at the rest of the interiors, he's really good.
Yeah,
What kind of speed does he work at?
he can do about a page a night, I guess, if he's really
Wow,
buckling down.
that is not bad for that level of work.
He puts it in there. I've seen him when he really gets going. Like he'll just be sending me stuff constantly, and I can't believe how fast it comes.
Wow. Yeah, maybe it's just like inspiration plus talent, but I mean, the detail work is excellent.
Yeah, I love this page right here where she first sees the Kraken monster.
So she's not expecting to see that.
No, that well, she knows a monster's coming. This is Journey is the main girl, and what happens is Tim and her hook up at a drinking party, and when
Huh.
she realizes that she has these weird powers, she actually thinks it would be fun to fight a giant monster. So she kind of like purposely summons it, and obviously
Ooh,
puts the whole city at risk.
that is really irresponsible.
Yeah, yeah. Journey, she starts out kind of well, she's kind of like this trashy chick, so she's not really concerned about anybody else. She just thinks it would be cool to fight a giant monster, but she will, as time goes on, you'll see her act more heroically in the future.
Very interesting. So she develops as a character.
Mm.
And
The
that
character
actually,
development is so important, and you really don't get that in SJW comics. So people are dying, I think, for that.
yeah, well, that's what makes these things relatable, right?
Mm.
Because even the greatest aspirational heroes, they have problems they have to overcome. And we have problems we have to overcome. So on a level, and sometimes we get stuck with problems for, days, weeks, months, years, we just can't seem to get past. So, just to see another character kind of show how do you go from where you're stuck at to where you want to be.
Well,
Um,
I think that this is why the hero's journey, the monomyth, is so important to these stories. Is that section the hero gets his gifts. So when the hero, and in this case is Journey, she receives these incredible powers, and she just is using them to entertain herself. And I think that realistically, that's about where any of us would be. You know, they say that absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And whenever that you are given something that you didn't earn, you don't appreciate it. And that's why the hero in the hero's journey has to learn to use his gifts wisely, to use them in a good way, so that it's not realistic to think that somebody would just be good automatically whenever they receive these powers and
Yeah, because
use them
they don't know how to use
selfishly.
them, obviously, right?
Yeah, you got to earn it.
You got to earn it, especially power, because power is not always a good thing. Power is something that can destroy you just as easily. Have we ever seen superheroes get killed by not knowing how to handle their powers, by the way?
Well, I can't think of an instance off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's happened.
It's a damn good idea, and I think I'm going to write it down. Well, because, you have like the Human Torch, he's running around doing stuff, and it's like, well, that's pretty dangerous. He's running around with fire. So, you could see him. I mean, you could definitely see these heroes accidentally kill themselves.
That's a depressing end for your story, though.
Well, it's depressing, but you know what? Characters do need to die sometimes.
Yeah.
Characters can't, necessarily always live forever, and you wouldn't necessarily have to make it the main character, just the character that's kind of interesting that you think was otherwise going to last. Wenger, you're pretty familiar with the hero's journey, right?
I'm not as familiar as I would like to be. I would say that I have a layman's understanding of it, but that's better than what Tom King has.
Yeah, or that these guys are deliberately trying to ignore. Do you feel like you could explain this graphic? Can you see this graphic well on your side?
Yeah, I see it.
Do me a favor, and I'm going to let you be uninterrupted for like 2 minutes as you explain it. And I will be right back as well, if you don't mind.
No problem.
In a moment.
So, like I was saying, Homer says basically, even in his time, that there was really only about 5 stories you can tell. I think that's the number that he said. A heroic tale is the oldest known of those stories that we have. We know the oldest bit of literature that exists in today is the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is a heroic tale. And the heroic tales, really any of these stories, they follow a certain pattern. And the pattern of a heroic tale, we call it the hero's journey. So we start out with our protagonist, and something happens. The protagonist is thrown out of what they normally think their status quo, their comfort zone. That's the call to adventure. So how does the hero react to that? Maybe they're reluctant at first. So something has to happen that gives them that push to leave that comfort zone, and they cross the threshold. From there, we have trials. The hero has to go through trials that are very difficult, and now he's way, way out of his comfort zone. He's suffering, but what that does is that fashions him like a blade. We see forged in fire. We see the metamorphosis. The hero becomes who he was always meant to be. And the ultimate boon is the gifts. The hero has earned these gifts at this point. In my version, what we're doing, the gifts come early on, but they have to earn it at some point. And when you get the ultimate boon, you're ready to return that to make a better world for humanity to really be who you were meant to be, and that's returning the boon. It's an endless cycle, and it's something that's ingrained in all of humanity. This story exists in every culture. It exists, has always existed, as far as we know, as far back as we can look in history. This story has been a part of us, who we are as human beings.
That was a really good explanation, and I actually did hear about 90% of it. I really like the sense that like it contextualizes and helps you have direction of what a hero would do. If you want to be, look, you can sit around and you can suffer, but if you want to be a hero, this is how you'd be a hero. You would look at what your current situation is. You'd figure out what's special about yourself. You focus on what's really of interest to you, and then you go after it. And then all of a sudden you realize, this is like me entering COMICSGATE, actually. You realize like, all right, I'm out there on my own. And wait a minute, now there are other mentors here. And a mentor is able to kind of show you some things that you don't know about your own, skill and your drive. So like you picture Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's kind of like that. And with me, like I get help and give help like currency back and forth with guys like, left and right. And we all help each other. And then you kind of move forward and like, all right, now you're prepared to really go for and do what you need to do.
Well, this is infinitely relatable to anyone in life. Everybody is born with skills, and you have to go through trials to really appreciate those skills and be able to use them. It's about getting out there and doing hard work and earning your place in the world. If you in your life follow this path, you will be a successful person in life. And that's where the hero's journey is really a roadmap to success for anyone. And that's why it's so appealing to children. You have to think about when children play, that's really like a training exercise to be an adult. Like little girls, they want to play house, and little boys, they want to play fireman or whatever. They're training for when they're going to be an adult, but it's just ingrained in them. Animals do it. Kittens play. They're getting ready to fight rival mate or rival males that are after the same mate, whatever. This is just a part of life, really.
It helps make sense of things and keep you on a path where, yeah, the reason you're going through all the stuff you're going through is to really get what you want. But there's always like this element of socialization too. Like you try and do a campaign, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whatever. You try and do a campaign completely on your own without getting help from people that know what's working right now, without getting promotional help, without having war campaign. It's not going to work the same as if you team up with people and you tell them what you're doing. And it's just amazing, like how many people there are out there that will want to help, whether it's doing campaigns or anything else that you're passionate about doing in life. It's very cool. And Wenger, the thing that got me started, I'm always going back to the hero's journey. I like the fact that it's so template oriented that if you want to do a cool character about a story that, a story about a character like a Luke Skywalker, or this character that's, got these new powers and they're trying to figure out what to do with them, you can use the hero's journey as a way to figure out how the F to write it. Like there better be a mentor in that story. There better be like a strange world that the character's entering. And it seems restrictive, but it's restrictive in a good way where it gives you like a framework to work with. It's like knowing anatomy before you do art. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah. In anything that you go into in art related, people will tell you like whatever field you go into, like if you're painting, if you want to draw, whatever, they'll tell you that art, it has rules, whatever discipline you're going into. But the cool thing about it is that you can break the rules, but you have to understand the rules and why they exist. So for this, I feel like
Bruce Lee had his own style. He did whatever he wanted, but he learned the other styles first.
Yeah, he had to teach himself how to fight from what he learned from those other styles. So, but I feel like that a lot of these guys today, they want to be George R. R. Martin. You know, like early on, George R. R. Martin kills off the main character in Game of Thrones, and you know, if you think that's a spoiler, you should know that by now.
You would
Like
think.
in the
Yeah, it was very cool. I
Ned
like.
Stark is the main character of Game of Thrones. He dies almost immediately as far as the story goes, and that people don't see that coming because you wouldn't normally do that.
Yeah.
But George R. R. Martin makes it work because he understands story structure and he understands these patterns and he's able to break the rules.
And
You
he had
can't
so
just
many
go in
characters.
and
In his
do
case,
that if you don't
he could develop.
understand what you're
He could,
doing.
but he could develop a character and be like, all right, well, here's 12 more. I mean, like they had so many characters in that series. If you had the Fantastic Four and two of them died in the first, you know, couple of shows, or a couple of episodes, that might not have worked.
Well,
I want to do two things, if you don't mind, Mr. Wenger. I want to jump over and talk a little bit about College of the Dead, and then I
let's
actually
talk
want
about
to
that.
talk about
Let's build it up. We got to get there.
We got to get there. College
Yeah.
of the Dead is doing really well. I've had a lot of help from COMICSGATE, like a tremendous amount. College of the Dead was like at 50% for a while. It was at like 60%, and then it's recently just started to shoot up. I got a lot of extra backers today. I mean, I'm going to be like Von Klaus with the, hey, can we just get this to 100 backers pretty soon? Like, I've seen the guys, they do it really well where, they're communicating, and Von Klaus is a huge success, of course, with Monster MD, super passionate guy, earned every dollar that he got on his campaign, working really, really hard and producing a great looking book, no doubt. College of the Dead, I can't, thank the COMICSGATE guys enough. I can't thank War Campaign enough. Helped me getting my video together, and really just helping people get excited about the book, and also introducing me to more people so they can kind of see how much I can contribute to COMICSGATE, which, it's going to be everything I possibly can, because COMICSGATE is the best. 30 hours left to go, 91% funded. I'm really happy about it. It's a flexible goal. So I was planning to ship this, no matter what we raised, $1,000 was more than enough. But this is great to be this close to 5,000. I'm really excited about it. And the book is already done. It's 140 pages, black and white graphic novel. And it's a great, great story. This is the cover to book 2. Today and yesterday, I started putting out some of the promotional art, some sneak peeks from book 2, because book 2 is 99% done as well. We will start promoting it more once book 1 has closed and has shipped. So on the listing, we've got 12 pages of the interior art. Most people that know me already have probably seen these pages already, but it really is a great story. It's really well done. You really get drawn into the zombie apocalypse just by getting into the first 12 pages. Even it really grabs you real quickly. On the tiers, I'm really happy that people took me up on this Ashcan. I think I've been really fortunate that I've been on a number of shows, really, and I had a chance to talk about what the Ashcan actually is. And that 100-page Ashcan, which I really recommend people think about doing this, is all the behind-the-scenes stuff that made the comic happen. It's 100 pages, different from the 140-page graphic novel, and that 100 pages really has all the pencil layouts and the full script that made the book happen. And we have also, with the full script, we have photo reference in that from where we got photo reference for our interiors. And that's the actual script that the writer worked from, the writer produced, and the artist worked from to lay everything out. So it's very cool. It's also really educational for people that put comics together. A lot of people will ask questions about putting comics together. If you've never done it before, it can be very hard. It's not what you think it is. And it is good to have a reference to go from. And you can always ask people, but if you like College of the Dead, if you like the idea of it, then it's a great way to see how the book came together and to learn how a book comes together. And then we have, of course, the regular comic book. And then we also have the complete set of the comic, the ash can, and this other art book that's actually a square book that's 8 inches by 8 inches. It's a good size book. It's 260 pages. And that book is, this book was designed 1 panel per page. So it's got all 252 panels of the black and white artwork without any lettering on it. And it's a full 8 by 8 inches per page per illustration. So you really get to see like how it came together without lettering, and the art is completely unobstructed. People love Javier, the artist. You know, I'm not an artist, so I can't do stuff like this, but we've got some tremendous feedback on his work. And I can't do this. I'm not going to do that every time that we put another episode of College of the Dead out. But for the first one, I thought it was very cool to do. I'm such a fan myself, Wenger, and I'm sure you are. When you're putting stuff together and you get to see the completed pages, it's like, this is the coolest freaking thing in the world. You know,
I always get excited.
But isn't it cool when you see stuff that's like only you can see it? Like no one else gets to see it either. But then you're like, all right, this is so cool. I want other people to see it. So that's how I kind of came around doing that. And then a friend of mine suggested this, and I was like, all right, let me try that. Just because sometimes people do get really excited. They really want to back you. They want to make sure that you're successful and your campaign happens. And they're like, all right, they just kind of want to support it as much as they can. So I did and I want 5 of everything. So it's 5 of the ash cans, 5 of the comic, and 5 of the art book. If anybody wants to do it, I just put that up today. We'll see how that goes. But I'm just happy that people had a chance to get the book and get the comic. And I'm really excited to be shipping these. Everybody's going to get their books no later than October 31st, 2019. No matter what country they're in, what planet they're on, they're going to get those books because the books are already done. We have the files, and we're going to be really getting with the printer immediately after this weekend to get everything out and done. And yeah, I'm really excited to have people have the physical books in their hands because I've had prototypes here for months now, but not even the final one. Like with the Kyle Ritter colored cover, I don't even have a prototype of that myself. I'm dying to see that. But I'm really excited to see from all my friends, you know, their copies of their books on Twitter showing pictures of them. That's going to completely, that's going to be awesome. That's going to really make it for me. And you're going to be there with Super Harem before too damn long either, which is, it's just so cool, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun. I'm wondering what people think. Like, there's the Ethan Van Sciver, what he says, that when you finish a page, just go ahead and show it because people already paid. So if they want to look, they can. I'm wondering what people think about that because that's what I like to do too. Like when I get a page sent to me from Joe, I just get so excited. I want to show it to everybody.
I think so. I mean, you know, I don't know what flow of work that you get if you're getting a page a day or you know, exactly what you're getting, but you know, whatever you're comfortable doing, you do. I'm crazy to show work. I freaking love showing work. I really believe in it. I think Ethan's right about that, but he's smart too. Like he doesn't show spoilers. You know, he's not going to ruin the story for you. He just shows really cool stuff that he can show.
Yeah, you see really cool pages, but they're always like out of context. Like you don't really know what's going on. You just know that it looks cool.
Yeah, you know that it looks cool. And he did release a chapter. You know, I don't know. I don't exactly know what the continuity was or what the sequence was, but I think he did release a chapter of, I don't know if it was 16 pages or whatever it was so far. But we're all going to be getting our books pretty damn soon. He's the production is finishing on his book, and it should be done. I think everything is printed. They should have bindery done. Honestly, he's going to be shipping in September. From everything I know, when he's going to be shipping potentially sooner than him, because I understand production talk, and he basically repeats things that his printer tells him. So based on what he's said, my gut feeling is. Yeah, he's going to be delivering starting like 3rd and 4th week of September. I'd be surprised if I was wrong, but it's going to be very close around that time. You know, with a little bit of luck, I might be delivering right around the same time, which would be very cool. I really want to get these books in people's hands, and I have a lot of production experience with getting stuff out to people. I'm super passionate about that, so I think we're gonna have that very damn soon. All right, let me ask you this too, Wenger. Have you been familiar? Did you hear while you were away about the Spider-Man controversy about Sony?
Well, I would like to be filled in on anything interesting that happened in the last week because I was on a boat
That's a lot.
and we didn't have
For that, if we
fuel.
can.
We were in the middle of the ocean, so the only thing I knew was that I was on a boat and there was lots of food to eat.
Did you gain weight?
Probably, I think that my pants are fitting a little tighter.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You do it. Everybody gains weight on a cruise, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is. As long as you had a really good time, which it sounds like you definitely did. We got to see 1 or 2 pictures.
When I was able to get some Wi-Fi, I did say hi, but I had almost no internet for a week. So I really don't know what's been going on in that time. I haven't been able to catch up.
We're going to have to start dealing with the gays agenda, it looks like.
Yeah,
that's correct.
The gays agenda has struck.
What is up?
Red, baby, red. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Yeah, my pleasure.
We have a special request from Wenger to catch up on, I think, this week's news, which is a pretty big category. But the biggest thing that everybody's been talking about, and I don't think you and me got a chance to talk about this yet, Red, is the Spider-Man news with Sony and Marvel fighting it out.
Yeah, I've caught the edges of that. I haven't
You're not familiar? All right,
I'm fairly familiar.
We're gonna listen to me yelling about it, and then and you'll be like, "Yeah, Adam, you haven't heard that new latest thing." Look, this is probably not. Here's what the debate is. So obviously, Spider-Man was in the Avengers. Spider-Man was also in, I believe, Captain America, and he was starting to get into the MCU.
Yes.
So, and now there are rumors that there is a deal, the rumors that there isn't a deal. So basically, Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man in a ridiculous way, where it's like, well, Marvel can't even show Spider-Man in their movies without Sony's permission. So they really don't own the rights to Spider-Man. I mean, they really, really don't own it. So they made a deal for a couple of Spider-Man movies for Marvel to help produce and like develop Spider-Man in a Marvelish kind of way, which did work out and made a lot of money for Sony. But Marvel also was able to use Spider-Man in the Avengers movie, and they were able to use him in Captain America, whatever the heck they did.
He was in Captain America Civil War.
Yes. There you go. So they had some financial deal where Sony was happy, Marvel was happy, but Marvel didn't have their creepy control over all of it. It was really like they were doing a profit split that was Marvel was getting like 5% of the day one gross revenue. So that was like a good chunk of money, but not like 50-50 partners or anything like that. So Marvel has decided they wanted to really push Sony hard and say, hey, wait a minute, you really need to give us 50-50 partnership on everything we do going forward with Spider-Man. For Spider-Man and Spider-Verse movies, you need to let us produce it. And really, they have their own SJW agenda. We all kind of know that now with Marvel. So there had to have been their other bizarre creative stuff that they wanted to do with Spider-Man that, God help us, we really don't want that to happen. Not that like it's not going to happen probably eventually anyway, but all the stuff about changing around bizarre things about Spider-Man to make him inclusive with God knows what.
Oh yeah.
So Sony pushed back on this, and Disney's pissed, and they are supposedly still negotiating. But Sony doesn't really need Marvel to make money with Spider-Man.
No. Well, I mean, it's also my understanding that Marvel was trying to take more of the box office revenue as well.
What they wanted supposedly was half. They would offer to finance half the movie for half the profits. Now, the problem though with that is they don't need Marvel to finance half the movie. There's no risk to financing. We could all put our money together and finance half of a Spider-Man movie. You're going to make a lot of money. The last one made like $1.1 billion or something of real money, not Captain Marvel money, not extra wacky money, but real money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it probably did help that he was introduced into the MCU, though, I would say.
It certainly didn't hurt.
Realistically, Spider-Man is one of the most famous characters in the world. So, I mean, you've got that brand recognition no matter what you do. People know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah, but people are also starting to wake up to what a bad movie is. That's what's hurting them.
I mean, there's so much goodwill. It's like Star Wars, even though they were making shit movies, people were still going to watch Star Wars, but that goodwill's wearing out, and they're not really lining up to watch Star Wars anymore.
I think Venom was an interesting movie in that, was it excellent? It was not excellent, but it was like a late 90s kind of superhero movie. It was like maybe they had a script laying around from like 2002 or something, and they were just like, all right, yeah, we'll just do Venom, sure.
Well, here's the thing. Venom, like you're saying, it wasn't a great movie, but it was very entertaining, and it wasn't like we had all these weirdo divisive politics in it. And what you're saying is that Sony was wanting to move away from that, and that's where the contention is. So you can see that if you make a movie, even if it's not great, if you make a movie that's entertaining and not divisive, people are going to go watch it and enjoy it.
Disney is they can be very sneaky with their dealings, and having 50-50 control, like permanently, not even for like a slate of a few movies, but having 50-50 financial investment in it and actually owning the character through Marvel, there's no way they wouldn't have creative control. I mean, they're supposed to be the ones creating the aesthetic. Kevin Feige was producer on the other ones, the other Spider-Man ones. So, and they're integrating Spider-Man into their universe. So they're going to say, listen, if I'm going to mix him with Fantastic Four, X-Men, whoever, I need to control creatively what Spider-Man is, whether he's bisexual or not, or whatever else they're going to next do with Spider-Man. And then, dictate 100% creative control, which is why they're involving Marvel in the first place, supposedly, is to have help with the creative development of Spider-Man. So, yeah, I think that Avengers and all that, I mean, that version of what Marvel was is years old now. And what we saw with Captain Marvel is the future. And we're not going to see what we ever want to see again which is why we have to make it ourselves. We have to make it happen.
Yes.
That's why we need books like Super Harem.
Absolutely.
We need books that look like this.
The future is Wenger.
Like this. Future is Wenger.
It's CG. It's not just me. It's all of us. It's everybody watching right now. It's College of the Dead.
Is it also Magic Cop?
Yeah, it's Magic Cop. It's whatever you want to see. The audience is really in control of what goes forward. They decide what gets funded, what they want to see. The audience is COMICSGATE. Whatever you want, we're going to give it to you.
Oh,
and we're going to thank you. We're going to ship on time. We're going to make it good. You've seen Magic Cop, Red, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was actually on a stream with those guys earlier in the week.
Los Hermanos Magic Cop.
Magic Cop. Guys.
I like the Miami Vice vibe.
It's Miami Vice with super fantasy characters. And they do have mermaids too. And these guys, they're sharp, they're passionate. This guy is a little silly looking, but he is supposed to be silly. He's a freaking leprechaun.
Right.
Their boss is a tall leprechaun. I mean, that's absurd. I've never heard of that. He is a fairy guy who's trying to give them something. I don't know what, but that's funny. It's a whole magical world that takes place in the 1980s. How cool is that? You're not going to see something like this, even coming out of Alterna. I mean, maybe Alterna would do something like this. I don't know, but maybe not, because it's bizarre. And they have some other projects that they're working on. They showed me something else they're working on a stream, and it looks nothing like this. It's just completely different, but it looked excellent, really, really great. And Magic Cop's coming along, so they are 52% funded. They got funded. Hey, quicker than me, I gotta say. But they've been getting around, and they've been on streams, and they've been letting people know what they're doing for a long time now. And they got a signed book behind the scenes. They have the coolest reward here. I'm going to jump right to this, where they let people be an executive producer, and then you get a jacket. There's not a big picture of the jacket, but this is like a members-only jacket in 80s colors. I've not seen anybody offering a jacket just yet. And
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, isn't it? What would you do, a super harem jacket with a pic like that Joe Ball color on the back, or the Death Sworn?
I mean, whatever people want, I'm glad to provide it for them. If you want a jacket, I'll add a jacket.
I'll get you in touch with
me know.
I'll get you in touch with Phil, and yeah, I could see people wanting to walk around and just shock people with that awesome super harem color artwork on the back. They make them themselves. They're in promotional advertising. They both work with a company that does like promotional products and stuff. So that's how they're able to do that, because it's not like they're buying 10,000 of them, but they can do them like one at a time. They also have this really cool cover by Elliot Fernandez, who goes by Jerkmonger, who has that really cool looking Door Kickers book, and he did a Magic Cop cover. And they're offering the original, but they also have a different cover done by Elliot. And it's a really great looking book. And this is something that Scott from Door Kickers is like, hey, they're kicking open doors, and they're also into magic. He's got another great book. Door Kickers is a great looking book. It's just amazing to see everybody doing like their best work on their first projects the way they are. I tell this to my other buddies in publishing. I'm like, guys, you haven't seen this. None of us have seen this before, where the first like project is a passion project, and it's so well done, and it's really well executed, and they're excited about it. They're out there, they're doing it, and then you guys are shipping them too. Almost all the COMICSGATE are actually come out. It's amazing.
Well, nothing makes people better more than competition. There's no real competition in the mainstream. Like, they all just put out these crap books, and they're not really trying to beat one another. And your boy Zach was talking about this in a video recently, and I 100% agree. Iron sharpens iron. Like, you see what everybody else
like
is
that.
doing.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, that's from the Bible, and it's 100% true. You see what your buddies are doing, you want to outdo them, and they do the same thing. Like, I'm super jealous of Carlo Rowe. What he's doing. It's so awesome with Death Sworn. And I'm like, man, I just want to find a way to beat that guy.
Well, I was shocked when I saw Kyle Ritter, like back, I don't know, it was February or something, mention on his Twitter. He's like, hey, I have time available if anybody wants to hire me to color. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But then I also know, having worked with artists, that artists almost always have downtime. Even Ethan is like very busy with what he's doing, but everybody kind of has downtime. You even hear Ethan say sometimes like, wow, nobody asked me to do covers. That's really too bad because I have time. And he's not teasing. Like, I'm sure he's not lying. He's sincere. He has time occasionally. So the trick of it is, no matter who you'd want to work with at some point, usually artists, writers as well, but artists, like, they can do something in a day and create an invoice, billable work. A writer is not going to write a story usually in a day. But still, everyone's approachable. Chuck Dixon's approachable. Everyone's approachable. You just reach out if you want to work with them. But artists, they especially do have some time. So I reached out to Kyle, and he was like, "Yeah, well, here's what my rate is for coloring." It was very reasonable. Hired him, and he was just so great to work with. He did such a beautiful job on it. And it's you do this stuff because you love the books and you want to see them come out and work with the best people to get them out. Red, eventually you'll be doing comics, right?
Yes.
Do you know how soon you have something coming?
Well, it's in the works right now. The problem is the artist it's not her primary gig, so it's taking a bit of time, and that's okay. So probably maybe, I don't know, early to mid next year.
Are you just trying to grow your platform right now?
Yes.
That's the best way to do it right there.
It's a damn good idea. Are you?
That's what John Malin will say. I'm going to give everybody the best advice that you'll ever hear if you want to be successful at this. Always listen to John Malin.
Yeah. Don't cross John Malin. And I really haven't seen Ethan be wrong very often. And the only thing that Ethan's also not 100% right about occasionally is that his rule doesn't apply to the same scale for the lower end guys. Like, I'm thrilled to do 5,000 on this campaign. Hopefully,
well,
I agree with that too. And it's a little.
What you got to understand about Ethan is he's the top guy. He's the guy at the very top.
Yeah, he's doing $1 million campaigns. He's not interested in doing a campaign. It's not enough. And I'd love to be right there with him. It just, it's obviously going to take a little while to get things moving, to be hitting 7 figures.
Well, see, the game's a little different for people on the lower end of the scale, because what you do is you use your first project. That's your platform. You build with that, and then people know you from that. And you rise from there. It's a little ludicrous to expect anybody to get like 25,000 subscribers before they start a book.
Well, I think he was saying 10,000, right? Or 25,000 on Twitter or something, or 10,000. Well, YouTube's its own little trick. I mean, I love YouTube. It's very cool, and I'm starting to have some fun with it and understand like how to make cool content or whatnot. First, you just put Wenger or Red on a stream, and you're instantly rich. That's what I think I put the both.
Well, that didn't work for me on my stream.
Even if you don't get to 10,000 subs on YouTube, what's important is that networking. And a lot of these people, the bottom people, they're very friendly. They're eager to help. If you have a project that you want to get out there, what you need to do is reach out to them. And this is something I've been saying is the I'll have you on, Adam will have you on, Gaze will have you on.
Yeah, the way to get it done is, because when I launched my campaign, not only did I not really know people, I mean, I knew a few people individually, but I didn't even know that Twitter had groups, private groups where there might be 30 or 40 people in them who are all into the same thing. So
I was the same way. No idea.
Somebody all of a sudden likes you and they throw you into a group. It's like, hey, you're cute. Come here. And
no one's actually said that to me.
Well, that's how I always take it. Unfortunately, it's with war campaign men. They're their dungeons and stuff. And speaking of which, of course, which is a pleasure, of course. Hey, Joe Frago. What handsome boys. Hey,
well, I stand corrected.
Joe is awesome. Joe is what an attitude, what a man. He's always out there helping people. Yeah. He's all frog, that guy. He's totally frogged.
He's so enthusiastic.
Yeah, he is, and there's so many just great people. It's just like when someone's negative, they really unfortunately, I don't know what happened with Edwin Boyette. He was like a real big supporter of everybody, and all of a sudden he got angry with people, and there was so much negativity, and it's just such a huge turnoff. And it's just like, all right, I can't look at your correspondence anymore, and that's it. You just
Edwin started listening to all the whiners, and that's how you get there. Don't listen to whiners. You want to stay positive. Comics are supposed to be fun. People are out there, they're not wanting to have fun. Let them go be miserable somewhere else. We're going to have a good time.
We don't do this and sit in front of our computers and think about how we're going to, promote whatever we're doing and helping other guys. We're not doing this to be negative. That's for sure, right? And we're not doing this to save the world either. We are doing this to make great comics that we're really passionate about. And now a big thing for me is I look forward to all these guys. I was thrilled when Wenger was back. Like, who the hell is Wenger? I just met him like a month ago, but he's a lot of fun. He's good people. And his project's cool. And you too, Red. It's always great to see you. It's great to see, Jack and just like little Joe and everyone saying hi. Joe Fry.
We're having
stay sexy.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
We're having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. With good people and getting things done. It's so exciting to be getting towards the end of my College of the Dead campaign, guys.
Tomorrow I'm going to be at Bubba Fest, and I'm going to meet that Umbrella guy and Yellow Flash in person. I'm going to meet Star in person. A bunch of people are going to be there.
So cool.
And it's going to be a party, guys. If you're there, look for me. I'll be wearing my cowboy hat. Come and say hi. I want to see anybody that's there. I want you to shake your hand.
That's a great idea. That's California, right?
Well, it's actually in my town in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, it's in Tennessee.
So, yeah, it's very fortunate for me that all those guys are going to be where I live tomorrow.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, they're all going to, Yellow Flash and Tug, right?
Yeah, we were all like super old school. Like as soon as COMICSGATE started, we were in a big DM group.
Oh, fantastic. Tug is he's amazing. I don't know Yellow Flash too well. I've seen stuff he did. I loved his takedown of Nasser. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, he's a very funny guy.
I saw Ro Kabir, the Gaylord genius of War Campaign. I saw his version of that first. His version of Yellow Flash takedown, his performance. So it's like, wow, Ro is really mad at Nasser. Yeah. And then I heard the Yellow Flash original version. I was like, oh my God, that is incredible performance. Ro is an incredible performer. And when he gets into character, he does his Eben Boyette impressions.
Well, Nasser was talking a lot of crap about Tug, and like I was saying, like we were all homies from way back. So, when people go after Tug, like me or Yellow Flash, we feel personally slighted because that's our brother, man. And I see people online talking smack about him. I know they're just jealous. Tug's a great guy. He doesn't do anything wrong against anybody. And if you're going after him, you're just jealous, man.
Yeah, well, you don't like what he has if you don't like what he has to say. Well, that's true because Tug got such a huge following because he's an interesting guy. He's a great performer. His information is really good. It's also unique information. So, yeah, of course, he's going to get a following. And I watched Nasser's stream once or twice for a little while, and he was very hard to watch.
Yes, he is.
When he was on Ethan's show, but Ethan has a gift. He knows how to make all of us interesting, no matter what you're going to come on with. But he knew how to have fun with Nasser. Remember he was doing Nasser Peace Theater stories? That was good content. That was good.
I haven't actually watched Nasser's stream, but from what I've heard, his problem is that it's just like he's trying to sell you his book the whole time, and nobody wants to watch an infomercial.
Well, there was that, but I mean, he was talking about other stuff that he just is not. He wasn't interesting to listen to. He didn't present himself well. But that's the other thing too is people got to know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. You have to know that stuff, right, Wenger?
Yeah, I mean, knowing your weaknesses and knowing how to counter that's probably the best thing you could ever learn about yourself.
You play to your strengths, you stay away from your weaknesses, you don't get involved in stuff that's not you.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I mean, we're not sitting here the whole time saying, buy College of the Dead. That's not going to work.
Buy College of the Dead.
I want you to do that, but I also want you to be entertained. Like, people are giving us money to entertain them, and that's the real reason that we're here.
Yeah, well, and they want to see us do well, and they appreciate that we're passionate about this stuff and that we spend time on having fun with them. And yeah, we got to look at some Super Harem because they're girls. There they are.
Yeah, let's get those up there.
We need more girls. Bring in the girls. Oh, speaking of which, I should send a link to Mandy. Is Mandy around?
Mandy is preoccupied.
Okay, she did something. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. So next year for you. So you already picked out this artist. You're 100% committed to this artist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually considered dividing the book up into two parts with two different artists, just because I know it's going to be a stretch for her timeline, but I don't know. I really like her style, so I would like to keep her on the whole thing.
Okay. Well, if you want to look at other options, not to throw her off, but I can help you potentially find some other guys or gals or whatever type of human beings you want.
Yeah, possibly for the next one, but yeah, I really want to complete this with her.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, once you get hooked on what you want, I mean, I could never see you replacing the artist on Super Harem, Wenger. They're too awesome.
I got very lucky to land Joe. He's such a talented guy, and the level of detail that he puts into a page is just insane. And he tells me all the time he just always wants to work with me, and I think that I'm very fortunate to command that loyalty from him. I think that you can look forward to us doing projects together in the near future, for the far future.
Yeah, sometimes people they're a great working relationship, and what you do is really good. And we were just talking about this a second ago: strengths and weaknesses, weaknesses and strengths. You get two people, you get a group of people together. That's why I think people work so well in groups, is everybody can complement each other with what they're good at.
Yeah, well, I mean, plus Joe lives with Gail Simone, so what more do you need?
Oh my God,
he has Gail Simone in his corner.
That's some scariness. He's not doing his own project anytime soon, or is he working on something else too?
He's going to be doing GAT's thing. They're doing that magazine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, CG Jumpstart.
Yeah, so he's doing something for that. I don't really know the details, though.
Okay. Yeah, that should be exciting. They're putting a lot of energy into that. Should be very cool.
I think it's a great idea. Like, from the beginning of COMICSGATE, I would tell people what we need is something like Shonen Jump that just like has all kinds of stuff in it for everybody. And I think that's a really good idea, and I'm glad they're going forward with that.
Yeah, they're really committed to putting a lot of time into it. They're putting money into it, and it's great to see Gat yell about it. I'm doing this over here. In the meantime, with these fucks over there, I don't care what they say. I'm like, I love Gat. He's great. I wish he would do more YouTube shows. I mean, he's on War Campaign on the regular, but yeah, he's great to watch. I just realized that he and Ro and Don DeLay, or at least they were supposed to, but all three of them, I think, were on Crowdfunding Comics. And it's like a 2-hour show. I got to watch that. It just popped up in my stream, my suggestions. I got to check that out. That's got to be hysterical. So if you guys, obviously you guys are War Campaign fans out there, or a lot of you probably are, definitely look for Crowdfunding Comics and Gat Hanzo. Put that in the search. It should come up. But it's got to be hysterical. It's got to be fun. They're a fun show too. They had an unbelievable show last night, Crowdfunding Comics, with Peter Simeti. They were talking about all sorts of Alterna stuff, Alternaween 2. And that's something that Peter's doing now to help promote comics, and also just have comics be affordable enough. Like they're at a special, even though his books are cheap already, they're at a special lower price that you can give those comics away as Halloween
treats.
Yeah. And there's somebody who buys them and donates them to hospitals, all sorts of stuff you can do. He's actually, I'm going to have him on Sunday, 9:30 Eastern time on this channel. I'm going to interview him about Alternaween and also his hot new thing, Alterna Distribution. And he's talking about, Wenger, you probably hadn't heard about that. What he's talking about, Alterna Distribution. Yeah, so the other day, Peter just said on Twitter, I think it was even yesterday morning, he said he's getting tired of dealing with distributors. He thinks he'll start he'll start his own distribution company. So he talked about it in more detail last night. What he's thinking of doing is, and what he's going to do, actually, he said he's doing it. He's going to work with independent publishers to offer their books. So it would be guys like us who publish for crowdfunding, focus for crowdfunding for the most part, I think, but maybe also other independent publishers. And he'll create a website where a retailer can order all of our books from one place, and he would do the fulfillment and do the collection. So he already works with some 50 or 60 retailers, which honestly is not a lot of retailers that he sells directly to. But if they're very loyal, they might buy, a bunch of stuff from him on a consistent basis. It's well worth it for him, because if he doesn't make sure that fans get the books, he's going to lose people. He's got to do that. He's got to make sure people are able to get Alterna books if they want to. Well, he's going to offer this distribution. If you look at, I think he said he opened a website just for alternadistribution.com. I'm sure there's not much there just yet, but it's super new. But the idea would be that he'd be able to offer our books. A retailer would have the convenience of ordering from one place. He's a super reputable guy, so we would definitely get paid, and we would get some of our comics into comic stores. This is without having to deal with Diamond. The one thing
I can say now that I'm hearing about this, I'll look into it because I don't really know what the logistics are. But let me know out there. I want to give my customers what they want. I'm planning my next thing to be a Dragoon Knight Aldrake, a brand new graphic novel. But if you would like to see a Dragoon Knight Aldrake monthly floppy, I could probably make that happen through there. And I think that would be a lot of fun. So you can just let me know what you want to see.
It might not be appropriate for floppies, what he's thinking. I'm going to ask him a hell of a lot about it and try to help him with it, because I sold back in the day when I was publishing Triumphant Comics, we were publishing all floppies, and they were I can't try to remember now. They were $250 retail, and we did sell direct to retailers. We actually had telemarketers selling direct to retailers, and the way that it would work was, the only way it worked was that retailers, if you bother a retailer and you're like, hey, do you want to buy some extra books you probably don't really need right now? You have to give them a discount for that. And it's also going to be a large enough sale that it's worth your time, but also worth their time. So you got to really be very good at the economics of, and Peter is excellent with editorial. He's also excellent with economics, because if he was not good at the numbers, there's no way there'd be an Alterna anymore. The price, he sells books way too cheaply and works on way too thin of percentages and margins. If he wasn't good at numbers, there would be no Alterna for sure. But anyway, yeah, so we had some success with that. We sold a lot of back issues, and they were discounted extra because they were extra inventory for us, and the retailers were pretty happy with it. And it does, it can work selling directly to stores, but it's hard with the floppies because they don't have as long a shelf life. If you've got College of the Dead, a comic, let's say, or we were publishing Chromium Man at the time. So if you have Chromium Man #4 and you buy 6 copies of it, you really need to sell those out because you don't want to have extra copies of Chromium Man #4 laying around. But if you had a Chromium Man collection that was like a 100-page color book, $20, whatever the price point is, that's something that can sit on a store shelf and a store can sell kind of forever.
Yeah, it's just the thing though with Alterna's newsprint, you can get a floppy for like a dime. It's insanely low.
They can print them for usually it's 50 cents each for 500. He was explaining, and then there might be a $60 setup charge on top of that.
Yeah,
He
it's insanely low though, the price.
Yeah, no, it is super low, and it just tells you how good he is with numbers. And he gets them, I think, printed in California, like on the West Coast. So however the hell he's doing that, he knows his numbers. He finds the right people for the right fit, and he's very disciplined and very focused. But this isn't necessarily. You could print books with him, but this isn't necessarily you print the books with him and then he distributes them. He would literally take extra copies of Super Harem if you have an extra 100 copies and help you sell those to shops. And
okay, I understand now. I wasn't sure exactly how it would work. I gotta say though, I'm glad to see somebody challenging Diamond, and if anybody could do that, it would definitely be Peter Samedi.
I'm going to talk to him about that actually, because I have had a relationship with Diamond for years, and they don't take too kindly to that sort of thing. So they don't really believe in. So he may find that they no longer find the zest and interest to distribute alternative floppies if he's going to compete with them on distribution. So he's going to have to talk to them, and he will. But they're very tough. They really are, and it's people don't understand. It's nothing short of a miracle that Alterna is distributed at all by Diamond. Not because Alterna doesn't produce great books. They do. They really do. But because they're cheap. Because Diamond doesn't like handling. They don't like doing stuff that isn't clearly profitable for them immediately. And physically handling a lot of $1.95 newsprint comics is not profitable for a distributor. It just is not. And you could say, well, because you're not promoting them enough, like, well, whatever. They don't care about that. What they care about is they have certain expenses. They have certain revenue they can get out of what they're doing with you, and the numbers need to work. And they're really strict about the numbers, but they must have a lot of respect for Peter to be able to be willing to distribute his books. Joe Frago says that he backed Alternaween, which is really, really cool. And we really all should back Alternaween. I'm going to jump over to Alternaween. Joe, you inspired me.
Joe inspires all of us.
Yeah, he does. He's good. He's really good people. He did Alternaween last year. And, so last year he did $16,708. I'm going to ask him about this. And this year he's not quite at that number yet. And it looks like he had a fixed goal, and he looks like he did not go into in demand, or he would have raised more money since that goal. It is a very clever, niche-y kind of title, Alternaween. And this is something he could have also offered through comic stores. I'm going to bother him a lot because I actually have very good questions. I really understand a lot of what he says he's trying to do. And I want to help him any way I can. I was actually messaging that to Billy Tucci too, is that we should, if you hear Peter speak, especially not just by himself, but with other comics pros, you get an understanding of he is a really dedicated publisher. He's just a very good guy. He really understands editorial, and he just loves comics. He likes the business part. And he's not trying to take advantage of anybody. He's just trying to keep his promises.
Right.
Very unique.
Hey, Adam, I hate to do this to you, buddy, but I got to hop out here for a prior engagement.
Thanks for jumping in with us. Me and Wenger are going to screw around a little bit more, but we love you, Red. It's great to have you. And all hail the gays agenda. I do have your a link to your channel, and people should know that you just put out. All right, we got to jump to this right now, actually. You don't have an easy link that you can send me. I'm going to have to fumble around a little bit here, but that's okay.
Have a good one, bro.
Red.
It's always cool hanging out.
Yeah, Red Gaze is good people.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Red Gaze just put out this very serious video about being inside the War Campaign Tribunal. And, there have been a lot of accusations about what goes on inside the War Campaign. I mean, deep inside the War Campaign. And apparently you have a very penetrating look and what it's like deep inside War Campaigns Tribunal.
Yeah, it goes deep, man.
Yeah, and there's a lot of evidence here. I can see that. And that was very, a lot of personal risk that you took on to expose what goes on deep inside of Rokabir's War Campaign Tribunals.
Well, with no risk, there's no reward.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do. I hope my family members get to see this. But thank you.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, those are hot dogs. Thank you for taking the risk and doing what you have to do to keep the community safe inside of their tribunals. It's
absolutely.
Very appreciated. You have a great night, man. Get a lot of rest. And, we'll see you online tomorrow. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me, Adam Wenger. It's always nice to see you, buddy.
Pleasure, bro. Talk to you later.
Good night, guys.
Be well. Yeah, Alternoween is really cool. Red is really cool. He's good people. He's helped a lot of people with their campaign videos too, which he doesn't have to do. He's just and yes, he's networking, but there are people who are obviously like they just kind of jump in every now and then and they just care about themselves. And then there's the 99% of everybody else. And you've seen that too, Wenger, right? Like where they're like, they care about everybody. They want everybody to be successful.
Well, you're not going to be successful if you're not part of this group. You got to be in there and networking, and you got to show some support for other people. I can tell you could look at a guy like Pocket Jack's Comics, our buddy. What's his name?
He was the guy that was really rude to
he came in, he didn't want to be friends with anybody, and look, he didn't get funded. So it's give and take. You're not going to get if you don't give some.
Hey, look, it's Edward Morales.
Hi, y'all. How you doing there, Edward?
Hey, Edward. All right, we're trying to just keep up with everybody. All right, very cool. I'm going to talk to Peter on Sunday night. We'll see a little bit more about what Alternoween's all about. I'm going to ask him why he didn't offer that to retailers. I'm going to give him a hard time, and he's going to have great answers because he's fucking brilliant. Excuse the language, but he is. He really knows his stuff. Super passionate about comics. But, there's some things I've seen. Haven't been in the comics game for a while. And more people have to help Peter and have to think about what they can do to help Peter. Billy announced last night that Crusade Comics is going to be distributed through Diamond in 2020. He's going to have an account directly with Diamond. And they're going to be very respectful to Billy because of Billy's history and his background. But it is hard for Peter to get the attention he needs from Diamond. So Billy was like, you have really good ideas. We should set up a meeting where, you talk with Josh Jeppy and Steve Jeppy. Josh is his son, and Steve Jeppy is the owner of Diamond. We should just take a meeting. And, you guys talk. It's like he can't get a meeting with Steve Jeppy, not unless Billy helps arrange it. So there's nothing wrong with that. Billy probably could. So I am gonna talk to Billy again about it and be like, look, we have to start thinking about what can we do to. It's funny because it's the COMICSGATE vibe, and Billy is not adjacent to anything, whatever. Billy is just Billy. But if you were in COMICSGATE and one of the COMICSGATE guys was having a little bit of a problem because like Peter doesn't have a dedicated person at Diamond that represents him for Alterna. Now, I don't even really listen to Peter's channel very often. I probably see like about a 1 out of every 30 videos he does, but just seeing him as a guest on every now and then and checking out his videos from time to time, I've known that he doesn't have a dedicated person. I used to have one at Diamond that is focused on his account. It's not their full-time job. It's like, they focused on your publishing account, so they'd be focused on, Alterna, and they'd be focused on like probably 30 other publishers. So there's no reason that he can't have someone that would spend, a couple of hours a month discussing Alterna and figuring out how to position Alterna better within Diamond's network of people that they sell to. It's not that big a deal, but Diamond has to want to commit the resources. But the problem why they're not committing the resources, I think, is because of the low retail price point, honestly. Which there's ways he could resolve that by this Alternaween style of having packages of books, so that there was like a $20 retail item he was pushing every month. He needs to think about this is the thing is it's not enough to produce great content. You have to make sure that it's great content that everybody wants, and not just wants on a consumer level, but if you are going to go through, distributors and stores, they have to want it. They have to want it as well, but they can profit on it. And you have to make sure they can profit. And it's got to be something that's not crazy to them. That's the other thing is, it is a little crazy to sell comics for $1.99. And why is it crazy? Because no one else does it. That's why it's fundamentally crazy.
It's really the best thing that anybody could be doing, because one of the issues with comics is that they're too expensive. And,
absolutely, it's true, but it's what everyone's used to. So you have to come up with a way to really convince them. One way to convince them. I'll tell you what, retailers are not dumb, and they need to make money. They're under a lot of pressure to make money constantly, and they need shelf life. So he's got this idea for Giants, which is a great idea. 80-page books, they're going to be like $4.99, and that is something like a price point that a retailer's used to. And there's a lot of value at 80 pages, and they will probably sell through very well. That's a very cool idea. But having some deep discount collections, like if he has like some, it doesn't matter what the printing is. He can even print new books for it. If he had, one of the things that we work, it's funny because I did talk to him about this a little bit. When he was under attack, I messaged him and I had said, look, if you need help with distribution, if you need help with anything, I will help you. And he appreciated the offer, and he got through everything that he had to do. But Peter's the kind of guy that you would fight for in 2 seconds. You better leave Peter Cimenti alone. But what was that?
He's a guy that's got a lot of great ideas. Like logistically, he makes stuff work. We've all got our ideas about the kind of stories we want to tell, our own books. But nobody really thinks out the actual logistics of it the way that Peter Cimenti does. Like, he figures out how it can work.
He's very practical.
Like I was saying, the price point is absolutely brilliant that he can get that. Because when we were kids, comics were an impulse buy. You went to the supermarket,
$5, whatever. Yeah, cheap.
Yeah. You went to the supermarket and you had money from mowing lawns or whatever, and there was the new Spawn or like Spider-Man on the rack at the supermarket, and you were like, "Oh, this looks cool."
But you want to know something? Because he was talking about this last night. I have to talk to him about this too. Is he was saying that the reason they're so cheap is because they're on newsprint, and that's true. But it's also not. It's not true. So it's true in that he found a printer that doesn't mind very cheaply printing a very short run of newsprint, 500 copies, whatever, 1,000 copies, and they don't have a big setup charge, because with newsprint, the way that place operates, they must change plates very easily. Maybe they're somehow digitally printed. I don't know what the production process is, but they're willing to do very short run, cheap newsprint. All right, but newsprint is very cheap. But offset paper, like 20 bond paper, when you buy white paper from like a pack of 500 paper for your printer or stuff like that, that's considered usually 50-pound offset or a 20-pound bond. But that paper is more expensive than newsprint, but it's not a big cost. It's not at a run of 500 books. So it's not actually really expensive from a paper standpoint. It's expensive from a setup and handling standpoint. But any printer that prints newsprint usually can print offset paper as well. So I don't know. There's some other aspects of it. Not that newsprint is bad. It's great that he's doing newsprint, and it does have a great aesthetic mark and feel to it as well. Because even though it's a little bit of cheaper paper, we do all love newsprint. Joe says he's going to start ordering through Peter's website, which is a great idea. That's a great idea.
Joe, I got the yearly subscription from the website, so I just get Alterna Comics mailed to me automatically every month, and I always enjoy getting my package.
That's cool. How long you been getting them for?
I started it at the start of the year, so I've been getting them all year.
So how much does a subscription cost?
It was like $100. I mean, for a year of comics sent directly to you, it's super cheap.
Okay. Yeah, we should do an alternative stream and just and maybe do an alternative stream and ask Peter about stuff.
Yeah, well, you're going to have him on here, so that's
all right. See if you're around, Wenger, for Sunday night at 9:30.
Yeah, I love shooting the poop with big Pete.
Yeah, he's good people. Yeah, you have a lot of knowledge about him as well, so you could talk about subscription copies.
Well,
so I'm
legitimately a fan of Peter Samedi. I love what he does.
Do you have do you get a discount when you get the books? Do you just get everything he publishes? How does it work?
Yeah, just automatically whatever come out that month, it comes right to your door.
Okay. And how many comics is that usually?
It's like 4 or 5 books.
Okay. So if it's 5 books, that would be $10 retail. So he's making like 5 comics a month?
Yeah. I think I have my most recent package right here. I'll show you what I got.
Interesting.
Let's see here. Yeah, I come home and this is on my doorstep.
Okay. And they're always in good shape?
Yeah. Got Wicked Righteous, that's 1. Blood Realm, that's 2. Unit 44, 3. Yeah, I've got 6 books here.
Wow. 6 books this month.
Actual Roger.
That's pretty cheap.
And Mr. Crypt. You gotta love Mr. Crypt. It's a lot of fun. And the creator's a really good guy.
That's the second series, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really
cool. So, yeah, I got just automatically, this came right to my door.
And they're 32 pages?
Yeah, they're pretty long books. I don't think they're all 32 pages. Some of them are. I know this... these are longer.
Very cool.
It's like an anthology.
Oh, yeah. Does he have reprints that come in that?
It's just whatever come out that month. You get it. So whatever's new from Alterna, it just gets shipped right to you.
See, he could offer that through distribution also. That's more of me. Ideally, I wanted more of Wenger. No. All right. Well, thank you for showing us that. That's really cool. Yeah, because he could offer those. See, that's something that he doesn't have to offer a monthly subscription, but like all the maybe he already offers this, but all the Alterna comics for that month in one plastic bag. 5 books, 6 books. Hey, Chris. Whoa, that's our friend Joe. 150 pages of stories. That is what he said. Yep, Joe, that's what it is. It's a hell of a deal. Chris.
Yeah, and he makes it work somehow. You can listen to him. He's making money.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, he knows his numbers. But this is great because, you might not have gotten to the comic store every month. So it's great for you. You get to get a subscription. You spend $100 once for the year. And then for him, he's got those pre-sold. And
yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, there isn't really anything at the comic shop that I want. And I was actually, I had a pull list because the guy that ran my LCS was a good friend of mine. I wanted to support his business, but now it's not going to be around anymore. So, I mean,
so that shop's closing?
Yeah, unfortunately, but I didn't read the books I got there anyway. Like, I was really just kept my pull list because I wanted to support my homie.
Sorry. Why did you get your pull list? Sorry, I talked over you, brother.
Oh, I just wanted to support my homie. I'm sorry, what were you trying to say?
Oh, the retailer was your homie?
Yeah, the guy that owned the shop. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very cool. And then at some point, no more shop for him. What retailers really need is they need a freaking profit margin. They need to know that if they spend $1, they got a good chance of getting $2 or $3 back. That's what retailers have always been starving for, and we did really, really well when we were selling to stores. We did something like $40,000 in revenue net to us in 6 weeks, selling excess books that we just had in inventory anyway, and that was just our triumphant back issues. But the retailers were able to buy our books if they spent the minimum buy-in was like $50, and yeah, Joe is saying that Peter said the subscription service helps people find comics that they might not have otherwise known about. Yeah, how the hell would you know? You're not going to go. How are you going to find Mr. Crypt? It's like no, it's just you trust Peter. You give him $100 a year, he'll get you good comics. That's it. If you don't trust Peter, then don't do business with him. But everybody loves Peter. That is a major currency that people know he's legit, and they can just do business with him. They're going to be very satisfied with whatever the transaction is.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. Is that you get social currency, and people buy into that. You got to keep it going, and that's a real key to success in an entertainment industry.
It's really in all industries. It's all dealing with relationships. It's that relationship currency. You're working with people.
Yeah, well, I mean, really for entertainers, because you're not selling anything that anybody needs. People have so much free time that they want to escape and relax, and they have money for entertainment, and they'll buy that if they want it. They don't need it.
Yeah, people like to know who they're buying stuff from too. And the more people get to know Peter Cimetti, the more people are going to love him. I know he does a lot of streams with Sweetcast. I've seen a couple, and sometimes not all of it. It's just at some point, like when you get into COMICSGATE, if you're publishing, you probably know this, Wenger. What I found was like I used to watch like 3 or 4 hours of TV a night or so. So instead of watching TV anymore, I'm on streams or watching streams. Then at some point, it's like you only have time to make streams. You don't really have time to watch the stuff that you'd love to watch. You're on some streams, and it's like, well, I didn't even get to see the whole stream that I'm on sometimes.
Yeah.
So you don't have. There's just not that many hours left in the day to do that stuff. But when I saw Peter on last night with Billy and Niall, I don't know, there was like this really energetic dynamic. And it's funny because Peter doesn't know how cool he is. He's just cool. But he needs more people to like go back and forth with, I think, for people to really see, how cool he is. And I think he should always be promoting a subscription. That's a great service. Yeah. But retailers need that. Retailers need a profit margin. So we would sell them like a starter pack for $50, and that would be like a 50% discount. And then they could buy a super pack for like $150, and that would give them a slightly higher discount. And then if they bought the super value pack for like $250, they got like $750 worth of retail. And they need to make money. So they got like a 70% discount or I think it was about a 70% discount, plus a couple of special cover versions we had laying around. So the point is like they need a business proposition. It can't just be, loving comics. It's got to really work where they can really sell those books. I was wondering how this was going to work. Peter tried to offer returnability to shops. He mentioned that in January, I think. And there's nothing wrong with that. He was looking, but the thing is, it's also got to be manageable. So he was offering shops like, if you have any of these particular issues, we'll buy them back from you. It's a lot of work for shops to be screwing around with that. If you want returnability, what you do is you tell a retailer, look, I need you to give me whatever, $100 a month. At the end of the month, give me back all the crap you haven't sold. I will send you, or whatever hasn't sold, I will send you new books and you give me back the old books in a return package or something like that. Or you hold the return books, but whatever it's like financially feasible to process them after a certain amount of time. This show is ridiculous. I love Dancing Sexy. Dancing Sexy. Yeah, he does that. So awesome seeing you guys get funded. Yeah, we love getting funded too, Joe. Just because we love it's you have to complete the process. You can't just come out with an idea for a book. You got to come up with the idea, and then you got to get the book done. You got to make sure it gets funded. You got to then deliver them all in perfect condition, and then fix the problems when they come up, man. You got to put the stuff in people's hands, and you got to make sure that they love it, and you got to do it better the next time. It's never good enough to do it right the first time. You got to do it better than right the second time, and then just keep it coming out and keep it cool. But I think there's a lot of chance that Peter could do a lot of business with a lot of people. He was also talking about, because I asked this question, because I'd heard him mention it once on a stream, about how crowdfunded books could then become alternative books. And he does coordinate with people who do crowdfunding. So I don't know if College of the Dead or Super Harem would be up his alley, but what he would do is he helps people promote, because he's got a big following too. So he point people to campaigns.
Well, I think my stuff might be a little too spicy for alternative.
He really needs another imprint. And alternative distribution.
Their own
alternative distribution may not be his ideal name.
Chris Evans, I got to respond to stuff he's saying. He's talking about Boba Fest. Okay. He's going to be there tomorrow.
He's going to
jump me and take away my championship belt. Now, I have to tell you, sir, you don't just get a title match because you found me in public. You have to earn that title match.
Or he's going to play Smash Brothers.
Maybe at the next pay-per-view, if you can win Hell in a Cell against Sweetcast. I got the belt originally from Sweetcast, so he's really in line to try to get it back.
Interesting. So Sweetcast got the belt?
Yeah, well, I took it from him at the last pay-per-view.
I don't know anything about that, and I thought I knew what was going on in general. Well, unfortunately, War Campaign's not involved, right? There are no back holes in that situation?
No, we don't backhole in
no pegging.
World COMICSGATE Wrestling.
Okay.
The WCGW.
I think I've seen those letters flying around a little bit. I think people have been typing about that.
No, this is mostly just bullshit that just came off the top of my head.
Okay. I was seeing some WCW stuff flying around.
I don't know.
I'm in a couple of chats with Man of Sex, so there's all sorts of wacky stuff that comes up. That guy is a genius.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have fun. That's what this stuff is about.
That's why we keep doing it, because it's fun. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we got a lot of cool things we can talk to Peter about. That's for sure. So we'll definitely be doing that. And just in case people just caught up with us, because we've been on for an hour and a half, which is, it seems like 5 minutes, man, but time goes fast when you're having fun. Tonight we're talking specifically about Super Harem and College of the Dead. Super Harem is created by Matt. And it looks like a really, really cool book. And Matt, of course, is Matt Wenger. And Matt, let's just go through a quick description of Super Harem again. Let's hit the perks. I'll do the same for College of the Dead, brother.
Well, look, Super Harem, the concept is really simple. I think simple ideas are the best. All in the tagline. Tim has a bizarre power. Any woman he has sex with gains superhuman abilities. So this guy has the power to bestow power on other people. He doesn't have superpowers himself. So it's an interesting dynamic. You can get a...
so he's empowering these women. I've heard you tell us a number of times. I actually hadn't occurred to me that, well, that is his superpower, but he doesn't have superpowers. He just empowers these women.
We are all about empowering women at Super Harem.
Cool.
Well, I tell all these soy boys that come at me, I'm like, apparently you don't like empowered female heroes.
They feel threatened.
Yeah. So digital harem you can get for $8. You can get a digital copy. Physical harem for $25. You get a physical copy of the book, and you get a cool poster by Carla Rowe. And the
Nice.
super harem for $75, which I think is a great value, our high tier. You get the book, the poster, you get an ash can by me that's a completely separate version of Super Harem. It's basically the storyboard that Joe's working off of, and you'll also get a personalized sketch by Joe of whichever character you want.
Wow, he really did something with the storyboard. He really turned that into.
Yes, see, that's the same scene that's up there, so you can see exactly see how she gets squished by the tentacle there.
Yeah.
And then he made it so dynamic from that.
Oh, he did. What a talent.
But I think it'll be a lot of fun for you to get both of these versions to compare them and just see like the process.
The comparison of the layouts to, I don't know if you would consider also putting script in there. If you have how you worked, or if you went really from your layouts or what you did. But oh my God, look at this work. I remember seeing this the first time, being like, before I knew you, just I'd seen the pages around. I was like, oh wow. I mean, that's really, really exceptional work. Yeah. Are you guys selling originals?
You'd have to ask Joe about that. That's his baby.
That's his game. Okay.
If he wants to sell his original art, like that's all him.
Contact Joe.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But he is working physical, so there are real 11 by 17 pages out there. And I'm sure you could work out a deal if you wanted to get those.
Look at this, August 2nd, 2019. At the top of that page. I don't know what that is, but that's a date. But this page has been around since before then, so hasn't it? I feel like I've seen this page for a long time.
It's actually April. I think that it's just looks weird.
It's small. Or maybe it's March. I'm seeing a 3 that's actually an 8 that's a 3. It's just my vision is starting to go, and I don't really want to admit that. Yeah, you're right. It's a 3. It was done in March.
Yeah. Joe is saying, I only back the single book, being holding off, but 100% going to back the package where I get your version. I really want to. I can tell you that I did refund a guy today so that he could up his contribution. So if you want to refund and then get the high tier, just let me know. I can take care of that for you.
It's really great, Joe, to see the comparison of what the source material is for the artist. I wasn't sure that I could do the Ashcan the way I wanted to do it, and that it would work as a book and it would be cool and it would make sense. But it's so funny. That's why, like, you just have to do things sometimes. Because when I did the prototype, I was like, this is a great book. And I've showed it to a couple people that I know in publishing that are like, yeah, this is a really cool book. This is very cool looking. And a lot of people have tried out the Ashcan. And you've done pretty well with the with your version, with your Ashcan. People want to see if they like an idea, they want everything related to it, and they trust us that we're going to give them something cool. And it is going to be cool. So I think that's a good move, Joe. It's good that you do that. All right, I'm going to just go over College of the Dead real quick. I think when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to have a nice surprise. Oh, my God, we got some backers already. We get even more success. I mean, guys, this is so exciting. It's so funny because it's just like, I don't know if you ever go through this or not, Wenger, but, it's like it's always a surprise to get every dollar that you get a backing from. It's always like exciting to see it. It's like, oh, wow, this is like we didn't expect it. Like, well, we expected it, but But not really. Like when the number goes up, it's awesome, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when we made our goal, like barely made our goal at like the last minute, and there was seriously a diamond forming in my butthole. Like I thought we weren't going to make it, and now look at us.
Well, what
So
did you had a high fixed, or was it flexible?
yeah, we had a pretty high goal. It was 7,500, but it was flexible, so you were going to get the book either way.
You know what? I am never, and I mean never, I'll lose money on the books left and right. I don't care. I am never doing a flexible goal that's high, like that's not any. Ethan talks about this. I'm sure Malin says the same. I need to listen to more Malin. But you need to hit your goal on the first day. That's it. And lose all the money you got to lose. We can deliver these books at a loss if we have to. Go into our pockets. That's fine. We cannot not be hitting our goal on the first day. No more. And the reason why is a flexible goal. It's like it's halfway. You can't be halfway. People go all the way. They give us our money. We got to go all the way and give them their book. And we have to give them their book in our minds, at least, and make our commitment to deliver our book before they give us their money. So I'm not doing I don't care what the book is. I'm not doing a goal of more than $1,000, and I'm not doing, and that's a maximum $1,000, and I'm not doing flexible anymore because all that flowery stuff about keeping commitments first, but also because people would go onto my thing and now people can see like, all right, yeah, it's probably going to get to the 100%, but people are used to the Kickstarter discipline where if they don't see you like definitely making your goal, and people that go on crowdfunding campaigns, if they see that you're not hitting what your goal is, they're really disincentivized from backing you. Hey, it's Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny says hi. What's up, Joe? My homie.
You know what?
A little tongue tied.
I want to try and see if we can scoop Vinny up because I haven't talked about City of Venus for like at least 18 hours. And this is the best time ever to talk about City of Venus. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let Vinny come in here and pitch his book. I'm going to go rest up for Bubba Fest.
Oh, yeah. You need to.
Yeah.
All right.
His internet's messed up, he says.
His internet's always messed up. He's going to be back with a fixed internet tomorrow. Vin, are you going to come in here and screw things up or what? We want you to. And then we got to let Wenger get. Wenger's got to go to sleep. You need to handle the next shift. Stop complaining about your little internet.
Yeah, clock in and let me
work,
clock out.
Get to work. Cable guy is coming in the morning. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. You don't have to. I'll call you in the morning, by the way, Vinny, then. I'm going to find out if your internet is fixed or not. And if it is, you got to get on this. You got to get on a stream. Yeah, of course we want you to try. Man up, Vinny. Let's go.
Well, Adam, I appreciate you having me. I'm going to go get in bed.
It's great having you. It was great talking about heroes with you. We have to talk about it more. We're going to get Professor Geek on because he's like, you got to check out his channel. He's like the ninja of that. But it's great to hear from you. You had a really interesting take. Oh, hey, there's Simon as well. You go out, do your thing, Brother Wenger. Really great taking the time. You tell I got so much respect for Nick Ricciardi. He doesn't know who the fuck I am, though, so that's not going to help. But tell Adam Post says thank you and hi, and I really respect him and his work.
I will. And Chris Evans, be sure and shake my hand and we'll hang out. He's in the chat. He says he's going to be there. So,
hey guys,
Vinny.
It's all
am I
you,
coming
buddy.
in?
I'll see you later.
Yeah, you're in already.
All right, man.
Or maybe you're not.
Have a good night, buddy.
Good night.
Wait, where is he? Yeah, Vin, you see you're in, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to see if I can get Simon in here with us, too. So, have you ever been in a stream with Simon?
Yeah.
I don't think you have?
Of course. Yeah. A bunch of times.
Good. Yeah, Simon is great.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's great people.
The hell is Simon? He's giving me a lot of advice and straightened me out on a lot of things. And some of his advice, like I haven't taken, but it's still very good advice. It's things like I want to. So just to hit my campaign numbers, one of the things I was looking at doing was offering my mermaids artwork. Actually, I mentioned that to you in another group because the mermaids own a lot of physical artwork. I spent a lot of money on physical artwork for the mermaids and for the whole mermaids. The whole mermaids is 100% done. Anyway, so Simon and a couple of other guys are giving me advice about it. My sensible friends were like, don't do it. Don't offer original artwork for the mermaids because it's just going to confuse people. But then some of my other friends they've done stuff like that. It worked for them and they made money. So I just kind of like,
hold on,
didn't do it.
Well, that's what I was curious about too. When you had brought it up, I said the same thing. I'm like, on this campaign, but if you're going to do the mermaid book anyway, why don't you just for that?
Yeah, I can, but we needed the money now, but we've made some money just from doing normal stuff. I really don't want to sell the original artwork because I really love it. That's another problem. But I will sell it. And if I love it, other people will love it.
Right. Well, yeah, because I mean, it sucks, but I've been doing it a little bit longer, so I know when you let go of that original artwork, it is very painful.
Well, it's magical. And I can't create artwork. You can create artwork, but then also even you can't make something like just fucking work great. Like you can do a beautiful piece, and you could spend 40 hours doing one like beautiful colored page or something, but then just be like, this is perfect, and everything just works, right? But you can't make sure it happens all the time. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes together.
Well, with that thing, I mean, because I'm printing them anyways, so it's like the books are there, so it feels extra gratifying. But to get rid of originals, it's always been one of the hardest things. I mean, when I first got into
it is hard, right?
Oh yeah. Well, when I first was starting to do conventions and I was taking on those commissions, if it's something you're really proud of, it's like, oh man. Not only like, should I have jacked up the price? Or when they do come, it's like, fuck, I want that too. Why am I just giving it away now? It's painful, but you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah, right. I mean, because you do it because it's like, well, obviously you're making the work and you're making it to sell the work. But those originals, I mean, they just kind of sit around in a stack because you're not like going to frame everything.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man.
There's some originals I own that I don't want to sell for any money.
Well, you see, that's why I also did the small sketchbook, the convention sketchbook.
So that stuff too, man. All right, so we're gonna move off of this. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, you too. I'll find it.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. That's why I put together like the sketchbook. So I pretty much I still do have those pieces. If I scan them in high res, I don't have the originals, but at least I have them in a collected format.
Vinny, it's not coming up. Is your campaign? Did I spell everything right? Look at my search box.
City of Penis.
Oh wait, no, Venus.
A picture of your face to be there, right?
Yeah, I got it. I had to do that once. At least we're not like we're on Ethan's stream. So smaller stream, more intimate. Look, you're still selling stuff after you already made your goal. Stop selling so much stuff.
Are you kidding me? I want to hit 10K so badly now, man. It's right there.
You gotta hit 10K on Dead City. Let's stay focused.
Yeah.
So let's sell originals that you don't want to sell.
Well, yeah, on my next campaigns, I'm doing it, but I have originals I'm doing for this campaign. Have you been looking at what I've been putting online on Twitter?
I just retweeted. I'm like, oh, Vinny, it looks great. I just retweeted. Well, there's head sketches, okay, but that doesn't really. Those are originals, but it's not like a sign.
It's not like they don't count.
I mean, they count.
I think you should go over my Twitter and take a look. They're not just regular sketches, man. They're highly detailed, dude.
All right. Yeah, no, they are. Actually, they are. You showed video of them, right?
I showed a lot of stuff for that.
Your show production.
If you go to my main Twitter page, you could just click on the I have
All right.
like the top like 6 photos or whatever on the side.
I'm too busy.
You can see some of them.
Too busy promoting Alternaween apparently, because I have Peter coming on Sunday, but also because it is really cool. All right, these are the people.
Oh no, it totally is. Yeah, we were in the chat. There was a bunch of us when he was on Tucci's thing last night.
You saw that show last night? Wasn't that a great show?
Oh, it was fantastic. There.
He's better. That's not a sketch.
That's a fucking drawing. That's a tight drawing.
You don't call no, seriously, you don't call that, you call that a sketch when you're selling? That's what you're selling as a sketch?
Yeah.
That's more than a sketch.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's custom original artwork.
It absolutely is.
In all seriousness, I think it'd be worth it for you to take a look at how other people describe their work. There's got to be a better way of describing that than a sketch. Because to me, a sketch is like I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know.
If I write original
remarked edition, I'm thinking like a remarked where it's like a fucking stick figure.
Yeah,
that's not a stick figure. That's ready to print.
No. Well, because here's the thing: when you go to conventions, and that's kind of the lingo everyone uses, right? So you get an original artwork from an artist, you know, it's all different types. Really? So
that's what they're doing as a sketch. Yeah, you know.
Well, I can't speak for the people. It's always the highest because you know, I think it has to be something special. But if I write original masterpiece, I mean, it's going to come off too obnoxious, and I don't want to do that either.
No. You know what? Speaking of which, actually, Mike Miller, I think, has talked about originals or whatever. The way he's framed it in some of his listings looked like it was pretty good. But you know what? I would suggest, you know, a couple of the groups that we're in, you might ask people like, how do they describe their originals? Because that's an original. I mean, it is an original sketch, but I don't think it does it justice to call it a sketch. I think we're both right about it. Yeah, it's beautiful work, Finn. So what does someone have to do to get that? What do you sell that? I'm gonna go back now. I got attention. All right.
Yeah, go down to the tiers, the last 2 tiers.
Volume 2 plus head sketch.
Yeah, that one's 120.
Now, is this a character?
But yeah, that
is it. So that is a signed comic, signed art book 2, and head sketch, and below it is
both art books.
$30 to get both art books. Yeah. I can't see why anybody wouldn't want both art books.
Exactly.
Honestly, maybe because they're confused and they think it's. You might even think about, yeah, you know what? Look at this, Vin. 3 out of 20 for volume 2 only, and 9 out of 20.
Yeah,
for the more expensive one, but it includes everything.
Oh, because I'll tell you right now what happened with that. I was contacted by guys who have the volume 1.
Oh yeah,
so yeah. They wanted an option. You know, that they don't have to pay the extra to get that book since they already have it. So I set that up. Yeah.
Okay. That's very cool. So that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to make everybody happy,
whether they like it or not. Sorry, it's just the way
they all like it.
I'm sure they love it. Head sketch. How big is the head sketch?
It's like a standard backboard to a comic.
So 6 5/8, 10 1/4, roughly 7 by 10.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Okay. That's
which I think is pretty good and perfect for packing.
Yeah, it's a damn good deal. It's a really good deal. You could be selling the sketch for $100.
Oh yeah. I mean,
out of $150, how much of that is allocated to the sketch?
Do the math on it right now. I've done it already. But
the book is 20. How much are the art books individually?
What was the main campaign? I think
$30.
It was either 25 or 30.
Let's just say 30 because that's the differential between.
Yeah, I'll go on the campaign.
-1 book, +1 book. and a single book by itself is $20. So 30 plus 30 is 60 plus 20 is 80. So they're paying like 70 for it.
Yeah, about.
Really good for original art.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, because at conventions I range between like 60 to like 100, depending on what I'm doing. Because sometimes like I'll do a simpler drawing, but I'll ink it as well when I'm at the conventions. But for these, I specifically said I'm just going to do them strictly pencil because I don't have time to do inks as well. I got a lot of other things I'm on my plate. I mean, I got like 3 other projects going at once.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm going to be launching the children's book project.
Are you 100% sure? Are you 100% sure about the children's book project? You really want to do it?
Yeah, I'm going for it.
All right. You know why I'm asking you that question?
What?
Because I'm a friend. So, and where am I coming from? What am I talking about? It's cool, and I'm interested in it just because it's you. But I'm not usually in the market for children's book stuff.
Right.
So you may not have a lot of crossover of existing customer base.
Right.
So
I may or I may not. Well, here's the thing,
and you'll get some. You're not going to get none. You'll get some. Like if we could add that children's book right now, and there'll be people that would be buying it because it's you and because it's going to look great. But you may only have like 30% or something of your normal people that would buy that versus City of Venus 2 or something,
Sure. But here's the thing. It's completed. So not to push it would be silly as well. Because Halloween is right here.
That would be very silly. And I've done a lot of silly. I own Spoof Comics. It's like 1,000 pages of complete content with name covers. And I have it all scanned and all like digitally touched up. I had digitally touched up about 40 color covers from a few nobody names to Cully Hamner, Adam Hughes, Dave Johnson, Jim Balin, a bunch of like really top. And I've had it all done and I haven't offered it yet. And there's all sorts of silly. But I agree. It would be very, very silly to not do the children's book. But you can, you'll do other stuff as well, right?
Yeah, of course, man. Okay. Well, here's the thing, because I'm going to run a very short campaign on the children's book. So I'm only going to do it for about 30 days.
24 hours.
Because here's the thing. I'm looking to get it out in people's hands before Halloween or right before it.
Right before Halloween?
So, say that again?
Right before Halloween?
Yeah, so because it's Halloween. It's Halloween themed.
When are you launching?
So I want to make sure.
August 23rd.
Say that again?
It's August 23rd.
Right.
Don't be mad at me. It's August 23rd.
Yeah.
Halloween is the 31st.
Yeah.
So it's very soon. It's like 2 months and a week. It's 9 weeks from now. So you're launching it next week?
Yeah, I'm going to be launching it in the start of September. I'm going to run it through September. And yeah, I should definitely have it for
honestly, Vinny, do it for, first of all, look at I don't know if you saw it a minute ago. We'll stay on City of Venus for now. But if you look at Super Harem, he's done like $2,000 more than when his campaign ended. You'll do plenty of business as you're continuing to do in when you're in demand. So I would even think about a 3-week time period, because you could be on the show, you could be talking about it, get it done, hit your goal, get it printed, get it delivered when you want it to be delivered. Because just from a production standpoint, you're going to want that extra week back. At some point, you're going to be like, wait a minute, I got to get these in people's hands by Halloween. Now, why Halloween? Is it? It's Halloween themed, you said.
Yeah, it is. But here's the thing too, because I'm looking at how I've run other campaigns, and I have product to give people, right? So with City of Venus and the second art book, that's 6 books people would have had for me already and I've only been doing this for about 5 months, right?
That's pretty good.
And I know Yeah, I know how quickly these things could get out there, and I want fans to know that I'm very reliable.
Yeah, you
So
are.
if I say if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Because even on that first campaign, I know I way overshot the goal, but again, I didn't know much about this stuff. I heard wrong information in the beginning, and I corrected it. But here's the thing, though: what I made with Through the Woods, I was still able to get everything out there. I got all my backers; they all have the books, and the people who got them were super excited, and they couldn't wait for the next projects. So I figured while I was setting up and working on other ones, I put together the art book just to see how, testing the waters on that as well.
Oh, the art book, yeah, different format. Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm trying all different things, but again, that's why my brand, it's called Mela Art World, because it's a world of different stuff. I want to give people options. I want to give things for everyone, So the kid book it's the family friendly portion of what I could do. Because that's the thing. I hate, I know actors and artists, they all get typecast in certain roles.
Pigeonhole.
I never want to be like that. I've my whole career, I've been very versatile in everything. I'm self-taught, everything I've done. So I know what kind of works working in the industry.
That's admirable.
Well, dude, that's why I have to bring the professionalism to the table no matter what. So yeah, I could joke around with everybody. I could bullshit as well. We all have fun all the time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I want fans to know I'm super reliable. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Now, I was on Professor Geek's channel last night.
Yeah.
And
I sort of was.
You sort of were, but your internet connection was not as blessed as it was tonight. Yeah. And but I think Michael is an amazing talent. I'm really enthusiastic about working with Michael.
Absolutely.
For me, I'm getting his first book out. There are multiple projects that I also have either complete or very near completion, a lot of stuff. And as you've said, it is silly to not release the stuff that you have complete, that you're also passionate about. There's plenty of time to plan other stuff. But Michael's doing a sword and sorcery book next, and you're doing the cover for that.
Correct.
Yeah, he was showing a Conan piece that you did. Obviously, you don't have it handy, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful. He's like, look at this piece. He's like, that's why I really need Vinny to do this cover. It's like, yeah, look, it's great to be known. And Michael's a great guy to know, and he's got a great channel. And he knows a tremendous amount about writing. Now it's almost like every show I'm telling people, like every show I'm on, I find a way to bring up Michael's writing guidance, because his channel, Professor Geek, he teaches people about writing. And you can watch, this I love so much about his work, is like you can watch his videos on archetypes and learn more about like the Ninja Turtles. And he's got like which of the 4 classic character types the Ninja Turtles are, and why they work well together as a group, and how that's similar to Fantastic Four. Just so freaking interesting. And for us that are trying to come up with cool ideas, you then combine that with an archetype like a trickster or whoever the character is going to be, and you realize like, hey, this thing is like half done already. Now you just need to kind of work with some other people and finish it up. But I love when things get to move forward. And he also does editing. He doesn't promote it a lot, but he may start to. But he does freelance editing. So if anybody has story ideas or whatnot, you can look Michael up. Just look up Professor Geek either on YouTube or also on. There's the piece. Great, Vinny. Or look it up on. Look him up as Professor Geek on Twitter as well. And you could ask him about editing, and he charges a reasonable fee. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I'd give it to him. This is a fantastic piece.
Thanks, man.
The lighting, you are able to put mood into your work. You did it with like that nighttime piece of yours that I was going berserk about yesterday. It's just when something aesthetically works perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right, cool.
Here's a high res.
Nice. Everybody download this and steal it. No, don't do that. Yeah, when you're able, that's really. Oh, look at the blood on his chest. You couldn't see that before. And look at the lighting on her and the skin tones.
The level of these pieces are just level, man. It's
how, but you're very. See. I had Mike Barron on a stream. We were doing an interview, and I was asking him about like how he writes, because I like it for it to be educational for people too when they're listening. I just like Super Harem. I like to empower the people that I come into contact with if I can. But you can so Mike Barron was talking about writing, and he's like, well, I like to set the stage where people immediately have a real sense of being physically in the scene. So I do something that affects everyone's senses, even smell and sight. And, you really have a sense of where you are, and he just composes. So he was just doing a scene really quickly. He wrote like off the top of his head, and it took him like 15 seconds to write a few pages worth of content. And I was just amazed. Wow. It was just wherever you tap into your creativity from, like that, it just comes out. You're able to execute that. So how do you're working in styles that you're very comfortable with to be able to execute this?
Yeah, because like my background was strictly as a penciler, designer. In high school, I was going to go into architecture. So like I make sure that my lines are very, very super clean. So it's like everything that I've kind of done throughout my life kind of all lends itself to what styles I'm working on, what genre I'm going to do. I try to give the fans kind of what they want and what I've always enjoyed. So like doing a piece like a Conan, I'm studying the hell out of Frank Frazetta. I mean, again, he's one of my
have all that knowledge.
Huh?
You have all that knowledge.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why an artist always has to be learning, never stop learning. Because you don't know when you're gonna need a certain look or certain like a trick pulling out of a bag. You have to have the right tools, the mindset to be in that environment. Because every time I approach a piece, I have to make sure that the story elements are there. So even if it's a static image, you need to tell a story. That's part of it. That's
so you're telling a story in the art.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you could see here, he just finished this giant battle. Maybe he saved this princess. Maybe that's why she's there on his side, Look at the guys in the background. Look at the giant snake. He protected her, or there's a lot I want people when they look at it to even create their own stories. What's behind it? Why I did certain things.
Is this in your art book, Vin?
Yeah. I believe this one's in volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now you don't have prints available for your campaign.
No, I had done it on the first campaign, and I noticed that the post office didn't handle things very properly.
Okay.
There were one or two that got a little bit damaged.
You know what I said? You want to want to give you, brother, is there's a company there's 2 companies I know of. One I was given to by a professional photographer who they routinely give them files, and these guys will digitally high-end print the work and deliver it direct to consumers. So I'll get you their contact information. Like they do stuff on Canvas and all sorts of like high-end stuff, lower-end stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. But like I said, the prints. Here's that piece that you really.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those things that kind of drive me crazy with prints is that I've been handling them for doing that.
Yeah.
Seeing the trends too. I'm not crazy about them, and I know like the market form is kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I decided to do art books instead. But
yeah, for the price, the value is great for an art book.
Yeah.
Are those comic size? Like 8.5, 11.
The art books?
Yeah.
Yeah, size. But again, I'm making sure that the quality is very high and everything. So like the covers are extra thick.
Yeah.
The pages are. I mean, what you're paying for is definitely quality on all fronts. Because like I know like Marvel and people like that, even if they have a good book, which is rare, they're printed like people are spending
The
like
ink
between.
comes off in your hand. I've never seen that. I mean, I've only seen that. I haven't bought Marvels like in a while because nothing has interested me. But like I saw some of Zach's videos where like ink is coming off in his hands while he's reading it. It's like that's bad.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. It drives me bananas. People are paying between $6 to let's say $10 if it's a special book and they're trying to push it or whatever, like a Spider-Man 25 or some nonsense. You're paying an arm and a leg, and the quality's garbage. The cover is so cheap. That's why there's damages all over the place. Diamond doesn't handle things properly. They don't care if things get damaged because they figure people are ordering so many. Oh, they'll just get stuck with the bad copies. It's the retailers. There's so much wrong with the industry on so many levels, and making it as simple. Like, I'm sorry, it should be about the product.
Yeah,
the comics should be print quality. With the amount that they are charging is ridiculous.
Well, it's when they were. Remember, Vinny, I don't know if you were old enough to remember or not, but in the 80s, when the direct market, which was direct sales, non-returnable sales, comic stores, was just becoming bigger and bigger, Marvel started doing their first printing on Baxter paper, which was that quality white paper. Like, have you ever seen Marvel Fanfare, Vinny? Which is reprints of older Marvel comics, and also Epic
I
comics.
believe so. Yeah.
They were publishing them in the early 1980s. But yeah, it was the first high-end printing for comics on really good paper. And it did make a difference. Right. Newsprint is awesome, but newsprint can't do or could not do. I'll have to see what Peter's doing now. But newsprint couldn't do what they could do with high-quality printing back in the day. But yeah, there's no excuse that you have to make it so absurdly cheap that you can't deliver. Like, technically, it's a comic book, but the paper is not, made to last.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. Those things that I told you, it drives me crazy because I see these perfect copies. You're not going to find perfect copies. You're not going to get what you want. Shit. In age, like a position.
Your internet's under assault.
That companies can't.
We will fight back. Your internet's under assault. It's fine, but we will fight back. I have a question for you about this piece. Another question about this piece. How do you decide the mood? It's part of the whole story, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When I rough it out, in my head, arc. It should have these where the light unique to it as well. Lit those light sources in
Vinny is having some problems here with it. It is breaking up a bit. And the picture went out.
I'm going to
your internet works. Yeah. I'll
maybe it's I got too many things
move
going
over to the City of Venus. Yeah. Let's cut back on it. We've got the City of Venus back up, Dead City. But yeah, Vin, your work is like the more I talk to you and the more we spend time like looking at your work and what you're working on, it is really, really interesting. And it's great that you're getting to be more and more known. You're getting to be more successful. Is this the biggest campaign you've done so far?
So far, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. The next one could be bigger and the one after that could be bigger.
Right. Well, again, like giant, I'm not expecting book. It's just something to also give an option for fans. And like I said, there's a lot of people who have kids. So I think the kid book is a smart move for something extra.
Yeah, you just, like you said, it's already done. A lot of artists, if they don't have work at the moment, they'll just ignore it. And they'll have downtime, but you use all your time.
Absolutely.
You don't waste time. So if you have downtime, you're like, all right, I'll do a project. Like then you'll come out and do it.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. Very impressive.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Vin, not everybody's so disciplined. You're a hardworking guy.
Yeah, well, hardworking. There's been a lot of struggle in my life with personal things and family and stuff like that. So I know what it means. It's hard to keep going, and that's what I've been doing my entire career.
What's your take on this? I was talking about this before. I don't know if everybody really cares about this, but I hope that Sony does not make a deal with Marvel. I hope they stay the hell away from Marvel. Don't you?
Yeah. This is what I was trying to talk about last night too, and things were getting all screwed up with the internet.
Let's just talk about it real quick because everybody's already heard all this, but I'm still pissed off about the whole thing. I don't want Marvel anywhere near fucking Spider-Man. They're fucking up everything as it is. So it's like, no, we don't need them interfering. The Venom, maybe we did talk a little bit about Venom. The Venom movie was fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was cool. It was like a movie out of time. Like Todd McFarlane could have done Venom. It'd just been like a separate movie. Well, Todd McFarlane, but this is what do you think?
Yeah, but my view on it too. That Venom had some problems with story elements here and there. The interaction between and they nailed that. That was the
good point.
How exactly, like how he talks to the relationship. The movie would have completely sucked for me, so I was happy with it. And then seeing this,
and where else in all the other superhero films, where have we seen anything like that? Nowhere, right?
Nope.
They didn't do that anywhere else.
That's why I did. But here's the most important thing too: is okay. They're not. That was the point of the deal that they made with Marvel. It was to establish Spider-Man, this brand new universe of it, whatever. Fine. Listen, the MCU's dead. Fucking Iron Man's dead.
It's gone.
So it doesn't matter. I don't want to see Spider-Man interact with Captain Cardboard. I don't want to see him interact with these B-list characters. To me, it doesn't matter anymore. To see him fighting his villains. I'd rather see the Sinister Six. I'd rather see involved in his own story. He doesn't have to do these gigantic, epic crossover adventures anymore. You know what I mean? He has enough where he could do it on his own. So yeah, I prefer Sony because they see what worked and what didn't work with Marvel, and you could definitely see Into the Spider-Verse. The damn thing won an Oscar for Best Animated Picture. They have talent. They have people who could handle the subject matter.
Yeah, and Into the Spider-Verse was freaking incredible. That's what I thought was going to happen with Marvel when Disney had Pixar. Well, actually, I thought Marvel was going to do that. I was like, why isn't Marvel creating its own Pixar before Disney bought Pixar, before Disney bought Marvel? Man, they could have done it because kids of all ages would have been interested in that.
I said that is the only thing that's going to be able to save Marvel after it tanks is going to be when they go the animated route like that, when they do the Pixar, because you could do so much more with animation than you could do with real life or live action rather.
Into the Spider-Verse was it was the most wild and crazy freaking thing. But because those characters, because all their versions of Spider-Man had already been thought through and dealt with in the comics, they were able to pull it off.
Yeah,
which I wasn't so sure that they would have. And I don't like 100 different versions of Spider-Man, but somehow you take 100 different versions of Spider-Man. See, this is why I think it works. is if you're going to do something fucking crazy like that, then you can do it, but that has to be the story. And they made it the story. They made it the story that it was like there are multiple universes of Spider-Mans. That is fine, but that's the whole story. That's it. You can have a little character arc thinking, they had Miles Morales with his dad and his uncle or whatever, and fine, but there wasn't a big character evolution, right? Between Miles Morales and his father. Not really. That wasn't the story. The story was that there were all of these crazy universes. That's the one conceit they're allowed to do. And then it still works and it's still interesting and it's fine. But you can't just throw in all these weird versions of characters that are not the characters that you traditionally already built up over decades. Now all of a sudden, like, all right, well, Wolverine has 18 kids. Like, well, what? This is daddy daycare with Wolverine? It doesn't make sense.
And that was the real Peter. Two of his work.
Oh yeah, then you break it up again, brother.
Worlds. Yeah. Can you hear me?
This is going to be the last night that we unfortunately get to have Vinny broken up, because there's some charm to it. There is some fun with you being broken up. There is. Simon, you can jump on too if you want.
Somebody's
help save us.
Get furious when the
Hey, there. I miss him. Let's jump in.
Awesome. She's gonna go down with Jonathan and Maple.
Oh, Sim, I just threw you in. I don't know if you're ready yet.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
Hey, Vinny. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Sim, how's it going, man?
Not bad. Yourself?
You're a great box. I've never seen that before. How do you do that?
I don't do nothing. It does it itself. Give me a minute. Let me share my screen.
Okay. You're a great box. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, Sim screen. Sim is always drawing.
Always.
Which an artist should be doing. Fantastic. Vin, you're still there, right? Vin, are you broken up or you're I don't know.
I think.
Yeah, we just heard it now. All right, there's Sim's screen. There's Sim.
Working at
this while we're at it a little bit.
Yeah, I was working on the meme police, so I'm not gonna show anything that much, but
all right. Oh, the meme police is heavily in demand. That's with MOS, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah, your work keeps getting better and better. It's always good, but you kind of like take things to a new level as time goes on. There's more just other interesting, cool stuff. I don't know. I really do like your work. You got people partying back there a little bit?
No, it's my older son. He's playing the new Call of Duty 4.
Kid stuff.
He's getting a bit carried away. So how's College of the Dead doing?
College of the Dead is doing all right, man. Let me jump on there. Hold on a second. Oh, we lost Vin. There's Vinny of the Dead. All right, hold on. College of the Dead. College of the Dead, man, is close to done. Thanks for all your support and your retweets and stuff. We are, oh my God, 47.90.
Nice.
Dude, I should stay on until we get funded, Sim. I have no excuse.
No, you don't.
Oh, man. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. That's
95%, buddy.
95% because of amazing COMICSGATE. And I am so incredibly psyched. This goal was too high for what it was, and the fact I really didn't know people. I didn't know how to promote even in the first place. So this was a little bit out of line for me to even start with a goal like this initially, and I know much better now. But yeah, I'll tell you what, this is really, really feels great to get the book funded. And it was funny because I was thinking, but like I was off by $1,000 or so a couple of days ago, and I was thinking of hitting up Ethan Van Sciver and being like, hey, could you do another retweet for me? Could you maybe have me on the show? Like, and just kind of dedicate an hour to me. And, he could have done it. And I'm really glad I didn't bother him to do it. And because I want to be able to, you got to do your own thing.
Exactly. It's there's a pride about it.
Yeah. And I see how he works with people too. Like, if were I to be in a jam of sorts, I could come to him and be like, "Hey, I'm in a jam. Could you like?" But you know what? That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is you get passionate about your book. You figure out how to communicate with people. You're not supposed to just go on other people's streams and like one guy just gets you funded. That's not how the game gets done.
Nope.
No.
People don't fund you because of your project or who you go on a show. They fund you because of who you are and your passion for your project technically.
Which is very cool. It's very cool to be accepted by people and to have them want to see the book. And I'm really psyched to be able to get this funded. I mean, hey, you never know. People could also back out. Their cancellations happen too. Anything's possible, but getting this close to getting it funded, I'm really, really psyched. I'm definitely going to do another. Well, I'm supposed to be on. You know, it's funny because it's very hard to keep track of the time with Indiegogo somehow. I don't know because it's East Coast, West Coast, or whatever it is. Oh, Vinny, no problem, brother. Vinny is saying sorry. We love Vinny. Vinny, no problem, brother.
Come on, Carl. Revenge.
We love Vinny. All right.
Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. I'll go get my letter. I forgot my letter. Hold on.
All right. I don't know what he says. Layer. I really appreciate Vinny coming on tonight because Vinny was, it's very embarrassing for him to say they're not working. Hey, welcome back, man. But Vinny was good enough to come on, and I always learn something new about Vinny when he comes on. He's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. Very interesting work. I don't know. Do you do much painting, Simon?
I did some a while back. It's something I've been meaning to want to get back into. But for that I need a bigger studio.
Yeah, you need more space.
Yep.
And some paint. You probably always get paint.
Yeah, but it's more about the room and not affecting the fumes of the because I want to do oil painting. I'm just not I used to do like watercolors a bit, but I've been meaning to get more into like trying some oil paints.
So how much watercolor work have you done? Have you done a decent amount of watercolor work?
It was more about practice.
Okay.
Like I did watercolor like sketches. I used to practice straight doing like drawings with watercolors. I was like learning. I was learning like the color thing with watercolors. Somebody was trying to teach me how to because I used to just do digital on the colors.
Yeah.
Because traditionally I usually only do like pencil and inks, and then I used to do digital colors. Somebody tried to get me into doing the watercolors. I had fun for like 2 years, but then after that I just decided like I wanted to do acrylic and but the family got expanded.
We used to work with Doc Martens dyes, and I don't know if that's not watercolor. It's so funny. Like we used to buy these supplies that I don't even know what they were. But that's how we colored traditional. When we did Chromium Man, that was all traditional.
Yeah.
So those were like physically painted. What they would do is you have your pencils and inks, and then this is the same way Valiant 1.0 used to do it. It would get photocopied onto a board, and then you watercolor the board.
Yep.
I think it was watercolor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to work. I have a few of those boards.
I just replaced the watercolor for the sketches for markers. When the Copic markers came out with the touch, it's so useful and it's cleaner. It's easier to travel with. So
interesting.
that's when I stopped, playing with watercolors.
You've been drawing for how long? Have you been doing art for?
Technically all my life, but professionally since 2009.
Fantastic. And your book? Oh, where the hell is Blood Hunt? I have Blood Hunt. I'm like, yeah, let's have Simon. Simon is like, yeah, but what about his book? Where it? Blood Hunt was funded, and it's in demand now, right?
Yes, and we were like 100 close to the 5,000, the 5K stretch goal.
Look at this. So you had the first version of Blood Hunt. Was that fixed and it didn't work, or?
Yeah, it was a fixed goal. I was asking for 5K, and I had both a colored version and a black and white version. So
Great.
I trimmed it down for the second version. I just put the black and white to start with.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. And your second colored version, you got some help from Kyle, right?
I
Kyle,
I got some advice. Yeah.
got some advice. You know what? I love
got-
to see people who are like really good at what they do, like Kyle, like Mike Barron, Vinny with his painterly stuff. That
Mhm.
you can just sense that like these people work fast at what they're really, really good at. And Mike Barron blew me away. I was just telling people earlier when he was explaining to me his writing process, and he wrote a scene in like seconds. He's like, he just off the top of his head, it read like a full script. I was like, how do you think in full script? Like it's a whole different language, but because he's so practiced, but clearly he's like really fast. But so, what advice did Kyle specifically say? Like, did he say to move the moon? Do you mind saying? There ain't no Simon. Oh, Simon dropped out. All right, we lost Simon. Damn it. I wanted to find out his secrets, and I will not get them. I will not get the secrets from Simon. But let's look at Blood Hunt while we're at it, because we just had it up. Oh, StreamYard kicked him out. Oh, he's coming back in. How dare they? Yeah, I had something wacky happen with my audio once on StreamYard here. Oh, he is back. All right, hold on. I have to add it to the stream. Awesome. I'm going to get Simon back. Simon!
Hello.
Hola, ¿qué tal, my friend?
Not bad. Not bad. Long time no see.
There you go.
Long time no see.
Well, here you are, brother. Here you are. Yeah, what I was asking you about before StreamYard decided, no, we will not give out the secrets. I want the secrets. How do you go from what looked like a nice color cover to a really cool mood color cover that Simon helped out? Not Simon, that Kyle helped out on with some suggestions.
The thing is, I decided to replay with the cover. I changed the background, the moon. I changed the place, and then I shared that cover, and that was the cover when I launched my campaign, which is the one you're seeing there.
Is
the
the
final-
moon a photograph?
No, it's it's a reproduction of a photograph. That one.
So it's drawn.
Yeah, it's like a matte painting.
Okay.
It's not drawn. It's actually just matte painting. And the one that you're seeing there, that's the first one I did. And if you go down the campaign, that's where you see the ones when Cal came in and suggested that I do the blue, red, and yellow effect.
Yeah.
That's when he came in. He goes, try that, and
So did he explain why blue and reds and?
to get the idea is technically to get away from like the yellow and the back close to the fire, meaning warmth. So you go from warmth to cold, so it gives the depthness of it.
Ah, okay.
And to put red in my shadow instead of just putting grayish. That's those are the main advice that he gave me for it.
Isn't that interesting?
And there was also Passion that gave me some advice that to use more cell coloring instead of painting colors.
Yeah,
So-
Passion for drawing.
Passion for drawing, yeah.
He's really good. Oh, his project looks really cool. Yeah, I'll have to grab him up one of these nights. We gotta talk.
Yeah, Doomfade's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, his.
Wait till you see the trading card I did for him.
Oh yeah, I love these like little pieces that you do for like your work showing up on everybody's campaigns. It's really cool, man.
I like to help.
So the red. Okay, so in every piece that you're doing, you want to see a range. I mean, I assume Kyle is saying this. You want to see a range of light to dark if you can.
Yeah, but the one of the thing is that people forget the ambient light, the room light. Like you focus on the light that the emitting light,
Mm-hmm.
and you forget that there's also the color. The environment has a color effect on light also, and the shadow. That was the only thing that I used to not think about. Yeah, I used to only think about shadow, like the shadow cast, the light. Then it goes, you're forgetting about your ambient light. So, and then the coloring is to play with your eye technically. So a little bit of blue tint in front, so it's cold and doesn't attract the attention from what's hot. So what's hot right now? It's the fire and Vincent.
So it makes it hotter.
Yeah,
because it contextualized with
because
the cool.
otherwise, what was in front was taking too much attention from the rest. So by putting in blue, you dim it down to cold, so it doesn't attract the same attention as the hot colors.
Fascinating,
Yeah.
fascinating, really. And then the red. What does the red represent in this piece?
That's because of the red moon, the ambient light. You have the fire from the fire. You have the light from the fire. You have the ambient light. That's the red moon, and the sky that's reddish.
Brilliant.
Someone.
You know, it's great that like people they say like the COMICSGATE streams are like being able to go to a convention, and I think it's true. It's like getting to a comics convention, but being able to see all the people that you're interested in, that you want to see. You get to see their projects being made. You get to see us talking about our projects, and you get to see everything come together. And it's also really educational. But you also get to see progress within the artists too. Like the people that backed Blood Hunt, the first version of it, just comparing it to the second version, like that's a noticeable improvement. That's very cool. Very cool. Everybody learns, everybody wins. And we have to talk more about your art history. That's funny. We actually just wound up in this conversation that I've been wanting to have with you for a long time. I don't know if you're into getting too much into it tonight, but you one of your mentors was Simon Bisley, right?
I met him. I wouldn't say mentor, but no, it was Michael Turner that that I used to meet a few times. But Simon Bisley, I met him 3 times. We had fun. We chatted. He was supposed to do a cover for me when I did my first Kickstarter with Wolf Dragon.
Oh my God, that would have been great.
So I met him a few times, but Michael Turner is the one that actually took time and try and get me back on track to actually work on my own IP and get back into comics after like 3 years of stopping. That was in 2005, 2004. Yeah.
And he just told you got to get back to comics, right?
Yeah. I lost the passion of wanting to draw for Marvel and DC back then, and people were telling me that my art was better than what they had at Marvel and DC back then. So they go, you should get back into it. So I went to the Toronto Fan Expo, and that's where I met Michael Turner and another guy called Clément Sauvé. Which,
so cool.
Yeah.
It means a lot. I'm sure you're helping other people all the time. I mean, you're helping people on campaigns. You're helping me with suggestions and advice on campaigns, and on tiers and products and all sorts of stuff. And but it's great to pay it forward, isn't it? Because you know that those people are going to come up and they're going to do well, and then they're going to help more people too.
Yeah, of course.
So this blue over here, this was a reward, right? Where somebody was getting
Yep, that's the glorious death perk.
And did somebody buy that yet?
Yeah, I have one winner and one that I had a winner because I had a draw on the first campaign and I kept the winner. All the winners still win, even on the second campaign. So now I have 2 to put in there, and that perk is gone now. Because I'm gonna start finishing the book. So like this weekend, there's gonna be a vampire perk that might leave this weekend or next weekend because I'm gonna have to start finishing the last 10 pages of the book.
Simon, could you just spend 2 minutes and just explain to people what the story is of Blood Hunt, and I will be right back.
Yeah.
All right, brother, let's do it. Tell the world Blood Hunt.
Blood Hunt's the story of Vincent's an elite assassin. He's working for the Venditti family, and he's secretly dating his boss's daughter. He will eventually get betrayed and sent to his death. He's asked to go on a special mission to go kill a no-man that stands in the way of the family, and he needs to kill him in his sleep. When he shows up there, discovers that it's an ancient vampire, and he was his main course technically. So Vincent gets turned into vampire, discovered that there's a world in plain sight, filled with supernatural creatures, and he will rain down hell on anybody that stands in his way for him to get his vengeance upon the one responsible for his death. One of the cool things about it is that on on that adventure of learning to be a vampire among the supernatural world, he will discover that he doesn't like feeding on humans, and he decides that he will feed on vampires and other supernatural creatures because he can learn from them by drinking their blood. He learns new abilities and new memories.
Oh yeah.
He learns new things from drinking their blood.
Yep,
That's freaking wild.
it's one of the things that in that world there's like different type of vampire, but he's one of the primal one, as in he got turned. He's turned because of a primal vampire that before mankind. So when he feeds off other vampires and supernatural creatures, he can absorb memories. Like that page you're saying right now, that's what it is.
That's
That-
craziness. All right, I'll be back momentarily, but that is craziness. I like it.
The fuck? Oh, you good.
So we start with him being regular human, gets turned, and that's like the first 13 pages, and after that it's just him going for vengeance and blood, mayhem, and fun. It's like if a mix of John Wick and Alucard. That could be a good way of putting it.
That's freaking wild. All right, I didn't know about that.
It's it's highly inspired by anime too. So it's like
I never spent enough time in anime because everybody's got some really cool ideas. It's like, well, I kind of got this from anime, I got that from anime, but anime's got some. So is this at all similar to Vampire Hunter D? I've known of that. I saw one of them once.
but on the aspect that he feeds off vampires, yeah.
Okay.
And he's not a vampire hunter; he's an assassin.
Yeah.
So
But
he doesn't go on a quest to kill all vampires, but he feeds off of them, and that's a big no-no in the supernatural world. They have their own rules, so you're not supposed to feed off other vampires or other supernatural creatures.
Well, it's cannibalism for them, right?
Yep. And you can't hunt anywhere you want. You have to hide. The humans cannot see you. They cannot know you. And you can have a gargoyle in front of you, but a human will see it human, but a supernatural creature will see the gargoyle.
Joe Frago is psyched for Blood Hunt.
Hell, Frogo.
So you're going to be you're in demand now. People can still back the campaign.
Yes.
And let's go through some of the basic tiers, and then I want to ask you when you think when the schedule is like for this to come out. Let's take a look. Blood Hunt. Awesome. All right. $50 is the featured one. So yeah, let's do the tiers, man. Let's see what you got.
For $50, the first tier, it's you got both version of the book. Technically, you get the colored cover and the black and white cover. The interior of the book is black and white, and you get exclusive limited print on cardstock. That's a number and sign that comes with it.
All right, so there's two books: the black and white version and the color version.
The colored cover, because the book is all black and white.
Okay.
It's just the cover that changes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Black and white color. Okay, cover and a color cover. I knew that. I just forgot it, but now I know.
And the black and white cover is a variant cover, a wraparound one.
You did a digital version.
Yeah, for $15.
Did you know? Have people been asking you about digital? Is that why you got into it?
Yes, I did not want it in the first one. I added it. It's the reasoning is quite simple. One, it doesn't cost nothing to do it. It's technically money in the bank for shipping problem or
Yeah, it's a little a buffer.
Yeah, and for the people that just they're not sure, they want to take a chance, they wouldn't want to pay the shipping or something, so they have it for $15.
It is hard with foreign ones because there is like, it's expensive. It's expensive for people in foreign countries for sure.
And the digital copy is not leaving until 2 or 3 weeks after all physical books are sent.
Nice. Yeah, it's not fair. It wouldn't be fair for the people who got the physical one.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And after that,
I did another campaign on Kickstarter called Divas of the Dead. And it's a pinup book of hot zombie girls, which is completely perfect for COMICSGATE. But I don't know. It's just like a lot of different projects. But the point is, I gave everybody a free digital. So then when the campaign ended, I was able to send everybody the digital version immediately.
Oh yeah, and the digital copy goes also to all the physical backers.
Oh, very cool. So you get a digital as part of the physical.
Yep.
Yeah, although I think you're doing the right thing by not distributing the digital until the books have been out for 2 weeks. Because, even it ruins it for somebody, even if they have the physical book coming to see the digital first.
Yeah, some people want the physical book in their hand at first, and I think it's a good way of preventing them of having spoilers before.
Definitely. All right, signed copy. You can get it signed by Simon for $25. A lot of people went for that. That's very cool.
Because that's the exclusive cover. It's only for Indiegogo. It's not the final cover.
Now, when you say only for Indiegogo, are you also offering this on another platform?
Yeah, for after.
For
after the campaign, I am planning on distributing and selling otherwhere.
Can you say where yet, or you're still working on it?
I will soon. We're still working on it.
Have you heard about Peter Cimetti's alternate distribution idea?
Yes, I did. For not direct. What they call it again? Newsstand.
Well, no,
newsprint.
His alternate. Well, he needs to come up with a new name. I'm going to talk to him Sunday night. I'm going to have him on at 9:30 EST on my channel. We're talking about Alternaween, but since he's getting into this alternate distribution now, we're going to talk about it more. He has a lot of ideas. The newsprint thing is distinct and separate. So if you want to have your comic printed on newsprint to sell anywhere, Indiegogo, direct shops, conventions, or stick them in your basement and never sell them, he will sell printed comics to you on newsprint for 50 cents a copy with a minimum run of 500 copies. Incredibly cheap. And obviously he's doing that by adding it to his print runs, which helps him and it helps the printer and it helps everybody. So he's doing that, but that's not what he considers distribution. Alternate distribution is a new company that he wants to create that will focus on direct sales to comic book shops for independent publishers like himself, but also like Indiegogo guys and Kickstarter guys. And he's not going to be like with Alterna. He's very picky about what he will and won't publish. With Alterna distribution, it's going to be like an open platform where a retailer can go to one website, which will be alternadistribution.com, and people can pre-order books as well as order books that he has in stock. I guess he's mostly going to focus on things that are in stock. So if with College of the Dead, for example, if I wanted to be part of his alternate distribution, I would give him however many copies on consignment he wanted, which obviously wouldn't be a ton of copies, especially not initially. And then stores would be able to buy them from all in one location, and Peter would handle the physical fulfillment, probably physically boxing them himself. So that's what alternate distribution will be. Though that probably should come up with, he'd probably do better with a different brand name for that, because it's too easily confused with his printing and with his publishing, which they are not those things.
Let's just say,
who knows?
Me and some friends, we do have something in the works.
Yeah, I know you are working on hustling some things too, which is great. Look, doesn't matter. Whatever gets comics in people's hands. That's the great.
Exactly. Yep.
Blood Hunt black and white cover, $25 signed. And this was one of these things.
That was when we get to 5K. 2 lucky backers get to be those 2 ones there.
Okay.
And then I finish it up, and I'm gonna add some of my friends in the background, and that's gonna be the variant cover for the series.
And you're gonna have me as Blood Hunt. Adam posts as Blood Hunt, killing people. Fully loaded Blood Hunt, baby. What's in the fully loaded version?
That's the same thing as the $50, except you get a 6x9 sketch of Vincent.
and I'm not really hip on the term sketch. So sketch is not like a head. It's not a remarked edition where it's just like a pencil stick figure. It's like a full, nice drawing.
Yeah, like you would get at a con. A nice.
The same thing that Vinny said. I'm clueless about it. So I am not good at that. But yeah, and it's very cool. So it's basically an extra $50 and you're getting a nice original 6x9 piece of artwork.
Exactly.
And that's pencil, right?
Yep.
Cool. Very cool. Gruesome Death Memory.
That's a new one. I just added it yesterday. It's that page here. If you look at the screen, you see all those panels on my screen.
Yeah. Wait, I see my screen. Well, I have Gruesome Death Memory here.
So yeah, but Gruesome Death Memory, it's what I'm showing you right now. It's a panel where you see a whole bunch of memories of Vincent remembering the people that he killed before, and backers will be in there.
Oh, that's cool. That's what that page means.
Yep.
Nice.
So you could be that guy there, or that one there, or the empty ones that are here. Or you could be that guy cut in half.
That's good for Jason.
But Jason's already a werewolf in my book.
He's already a werewolf, but I think he can be something else too. He can really spread it around a little bit. That is really cool. So that I'm always just looking at this naked girl over here.
Sorry, I'll hide the nipple.
No, you don't have to. That's all right. We can get a little wild. This isn't War Campaign, but still we can do it. All right. I'm going to go back to my screen. I did notice something I think I could be a little bit of help with, so I will offer that help to you. You get to be a past memory from Vincent's past victim. You get the exclusive color cover and the limited exclusive art print, size of a comic book, and printed on cardstock paper. Okay. Just on this description, with the word "pass" here, you mean P-A-S-T, right?
Yeah.
All right. So because no one got it just yet because it's new, you
I'll
can
go fix it. Yeah.
And everybody's happy.
Yeah, I'll go fix it.
That's what brothers are for. All right. Blood Hunt, Be a Vampire. Awesome.
Yeah, that you get the 2 books, you get the exclusive print, you get the sticker, and you get the 9x12-inch sketch. But the sketch right now, it's going to be you as a vampire with Vincent. So could either be a buddy shot, like behind the scene,
cool,
or you getting killed by him. And as you can see, the werewolf is gone.
A lot of included items. Yeah, werewolf has been taken. Jason will be the werewolf. Guaranteed.
Yes. Him and Chris Evans.
Oh yeah, Chris Evans too.
Yes.
Awesome. I know Chris Evans. He was just in our chat before.
The funny thing though is that you get Jason Starr in the comic. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Not thoroughly. Hey, Ninja.
You get his avatar transforming into a werewolf.
I sent him the Magic Cop guys, right?
Of course I know them.
Los Hermanos Magic Cop. I love those guys. That's what I call them.
Yeah, the 2 brothers are freaking awesome.
I don't know why, but yeah, I love those guys. Where Magic Cop should be in here right now. Damn it, we got to get Magic Cop funded too. It's not all about College of the Dead and Vinny's crazy book.
Oh yes.
Blood Hunt is doing good already. Come on, Magic Cop. Get with it.
I'm getting close to my first stretch goal, and I'm happy.
Yeah, let's talk about your stretch goal.
The stretch goal is 2 lucky backers will be randomly chosen, and they'll be on a variant cover. Everybody gets an exclusive print of the final cover. Like I'm gonna be illustrating the final cover for this series, and everybody will get a print of it. And everybody's gonna get a Vincent's business card.
I like the idea of the business card. That's a very cool idea.
So you're gonna get is Vincent the Assassin business card.
I like that. I like how you handle this light blue stuff too to draw people in.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool how you did that. It's unfinished. It could be you. That's
Yep.
probably got Jason. All right. The stretch goal is 5,000. 2 backers will be randomly selected.
And when we
a wraparound.
Yeah, and the 10K one is you get an ash can. That's actually part of my Not the Merc universe. That's one of my upcoming projects.
Now this also you're in demand right now. So when is going to be the cutoff for the stretch goal? You know what I mean? Well, I guess you have until you start shipping, right?
I've taken off the last 15K stretch goal because that was the extra pages in the book.
Okay.
So technically, it's gonna be in demand until it's all shipped, but either ship or ordered.
Gotcha.
When all the prints are ordered, or then the in demand's gonna stop because I'm gonna start fulfilling. But a little issue that I encountered is the fact that the previous release day was November, but because I stretched it out for a month, it was going into December. And a little hint for people: try not to do that because everybody's telling me, and the info came from people that talk with Zach too, that you never ship during the holidays because half your packages could be lost.
That's what I've been.
So I made a
That's
nice.
what I've been telling everybody is.
I made a nice update on my campaign, explaining everybody that because we were falling on the December, we were gonna have to delay it till the end of January or beginning of February, but everybody will be ready and shipped by then.
Good. Yeah, man. I was the one. I don't know if Zach was telling people that or not. I was telling that to names that you know. I've been telling guys that. I actually brought that up to Ethan on a show once. And Ethan's like, Adam, I've got it covered. My fulfillment. I know who his fulfillment is. They are very good. And they will ship. It doesn't matter how good your fulfillment is. Because when Christmas comes around, everything is overloaded. And stuff does get lost and destroyed and delayed. So, especially if, God forbid, you're going to shoot it. Send it to Brandon's account. Fucking Magic Cop guys. Do you know Brandon's account? I love the Magic Cop guys, but I don't know Brandon's account. Am I even connected to Brandon?
I don't know if I don't know.
Are you connected to Brandon?
Let me check. I'm not sure. Let me check.
Brandon's good. I don't know
yes.
Brandon. It's just like, come on, Magic Cop guys. I'm tired.
Yes, I am. So I can say I just don't have the link. How do I send the link?
Well, just copy and paste however you logged in.
Okay.
If
I'll try this.
I don't. Where is Brandon?
Sent. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, but I'm still gonna try and make it for November. But I also don't want to rush it. So if possible, I'll try to make it for November. But I want everybody to not. I don't want to be overly late and people will be expecting a book. So I'd rather be transparent and honest. So the maximum date is February, and I'm gonna be trying to make it before December. Otherwise, no choice. I cannot afford losing over 50 books.
Well, you won't necessarily. I don't know. You just don't want to be shipping between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, but they'll be damaged. They get lost, and so technically that's what I mean by losing 50 copies because.
Oh yeah.
Somebody like one goes, I lost 50 copies like that. I'm like, oh, when you're ordering 100 books or something, it's.
Did we find? So you have Brandon?
Yeah, I sent it to Brendan.
Wait, which Brandon is this?
Brendan Magic Cop live on Indiegogo.
Yeah, I don't.
His name is Brendan with a O.
You know what I like? I like Brendan Kemp. He's good people.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. He has a very good presentation. He handles his business.
Yeah, the Diaz brothers are on Dulo and Show tomorrow.
The Diaz brothers?
Yep.
Is that the Magic Cop guys?
Yep.
I just like calling them Los Hermanos Magic Cop. I don't know who the Diaz brothers are.
It's done.
Now I do because you said so, but I think I'm connected to Brandon. It's kind of funny. So when are you planning on shipping? Are you going to ship early November?
If I'm gonna be shipping in November,
Yeah.
I'm trying, but like I said, I delayed it for a month. So hopefully, if I can, I'll try and pull it off before.
Yeah.
Because technically, it's like everything was falling into December. I'm gonna try and hit it in November, but the latest will be February. But everything will be printed, packed, and ready to leave for February.
Okay. Yeah. It'll give you an opportunity to do something even better with it anyway, because if you have a little more time to play with, you know how it goes. You can always do some extra cool stuff in there.
Yep, and I'm also working on 4 projects right now. 3 in CG Jumpstart.
Gonna be. Oh, there's Brandon.
And I'm also working on another project. Hey Brandon.
Brandon.
Hey.
The Magic Copster.
Yep.
Awesome.
Finally
Awesome.
in here. What are you doing in CG Jumpstart?
I'm doing Crash Course with Gat Enzo. I'm doing Demons and G Strings, and the meme police.
Nice. That Demons and G Strings is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I pretty much. Yeah, I'm sure of that.
I know what the background curtain was based on, and I'm honored. That can't be a coincidence. It's the Adam Post curtain from Demons and G Strings.
Oh yeah.
Simon, come on now. You have to admit it.
Wait till you guys see what it is. I already started working on the first page.
Oh boy. How much am I in it? Not that much, right?
Not showing you more than this.
Okay, hold on. Simon's screen. Oh, hey, that's really cool looking.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what I was saying before, Simon. It's like every time I look at your work, there's always like some extra cool aspect to it. That's like, oh, Simon drew that, but it's not. It's really good.
Thank you.
And you designed this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's me and that's me and Star.
Wow.
That's our baby. Wait
That's
till you
awesome.
see her. She's gonna kick ass.
That's a female character?
Yeah, she's a demon that can take different demon form
Oh, yeah.
and attribute and abilities, and yeah, it's.
She has great curtains.
I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, that's the Demon King, and that's the first 3-page intro that you get in CG Jumpstart 1, and CG Jumpstart 2, you're gonna get the conclusion of a 12-page, which will be the origin story that leads into the book. So when we launch the book, you're gonna be able to have the Ash Can of this.
Oh, awesome! Like a serial. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
And after that, you get like the conclusion, the big book of 60 page, and it's we planned it to be a 2-part, so 2 books of 60 page of a beautiful demon in G string slaying demons.
And the title of the book is Demon and
What
G
more
String?
could you want?
Yeah,
Yes, what you mean.
that's why it's demons and G string, because there's only one G string. You know, the other demons are not wearing G string.
What's the character's name?
Lily.
Yep. Yeah, Jason's pretty deep. He's interesting to talk to. And as he's talked about his I guess this is a different project than that other project you were working on with him.
Yeah, we put Seed of Yggdrasil aside and we decided to focus on that one.
Yeah. It's very cool looking. It's really cool looking.
Like I told him, it's an amazing hot babe, badass warrior. How can you not like that idea?
Yeah, you have to like it. It goes with the territory.
Those characters, they're
We
always
don't
the most
have
fun.
we don't have those anymore. It's like last time was Lady Death.
Yeah. Yeah, we need more.
So,
Those
Like-
characters that are really like, if they're well thought out and they're just cool, powerful, sexy female characters, they always do well. None of them don't do well. Even the ones that aren't so well thought out and aren't really well drawn still do well. Yeah, look at those curtains. I see a little similarity. I mean,
Yeah.
does anybody else see similar? I mean, she doesn't have a couch, but the colors. What did you sample the colors from my from a stream?
No,
It's
Not
identical.
really the same.
I should have put a little bit more shine in it though.
Wait, let me see if I can get. She's holding this glass.
You have to live.
The screen
You have
cap
to live
that.
that right leg,
The-
like you're standing. Yeah.
yeah, G-string for it, but I must have been sitting back like this sometime, and you're like, "All right, I'm just going to incorporate that into a character design. Make sure I get the colors right." That is really very funny.
What you see here, like that weapon, that and that one there, and the axe are technically like weapons of our different shapes because she has many different demon shape. So every one of them have a different weapon, different abilities, different form. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
She can take the aspect of all the 7 sins too.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's going to be hard to fit it in 3 pages. People are going to want more.
That's what I'm saying. It's an intro to her in the first 3 pages, and then after that you get the story of the origin, and then we are hitting 260 books afterwards.
Yeah, I think it's going to do huge, and it's going to be good to see Jason have such a big success because he supports everyone else, and he really does. And then to be able to see him have his success too.
Oh, we spent pretty much like the last month having like private meetings and just like spending hours and hours every day just planning and talking about this character, designing our different forms. We have a few of them designed, which is going to be pretty cool. Look, I can show you one.
Yeah, okay. Whatever you can show that's not.
Here's one.
It doesn't look anything like my curtains.
That's awesome.
That is very cool.
That's like the first design. You're gonna see that in the final version in the 12th page. But technically, you see her in the intro. Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's my demon in G string.
Yeah, she's great.
Man, me and Stars.
He's a good guy.
And this is the creature you're seeing right now. The one I was drawing on the page.
Oh, cool. You're getting more and more comfortable with this coloring too. You're doing different stuff with coloring.
Yeah,
I can't say exactly what it is, but you're having a lot of fun with it, right?
I started by practicing the cell shading because I used to do a lot of like matte painting type of like really trying to take the aspect of painting like digital painting to do colors that it doesn't favor my line work. So Passion came to me and goes, try and practice like the cell shading. So I'm like, okay. While I was doing that, and I started to integrate the other aspect of blending colors and this and that, and I think I came up with a cool look.
Oh, yeah, it is a cool look. It's a very cool look.
And it doesn't devalue my line work. It implements it. So one of my first tests was this. Hold on. Where's the knot thing? Not the Merc. There you go. Started testing with this. That was my first test.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was the first test doing the cell shading, having fun. This is just selection. There's no mix. There's no nothing. I was having fun. Then after that, I went and played with this.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks.
She's super ripped.
Yep, she is.
Sit-ups pays off.
She's not to be fucked with. She's one of the top bounty hunters.
Another strong, empowered female character.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we like them. We like the girls strong.
That's it.
Let's talk some smack about Magicop because now Magicop the game is going with Magicop.
Yep.
Brandon can give us some magic.
Where are they now?
I don't know.
We just crossed 50%. So we have $1,568.
Awesome.
52%, 27
Congrats.
days. So you guys are way along. We actually previewed Magic Cop earlier, a couple of hours ago. And we were, of course, talking about the jacket.
Yeah, it's super popular.
Everybody. So you can't sell the jacket by itself, or you could, but you're not current.
We could, but the that colorful jacket, I think we're going to keep for the producer tier.
Okay.
I think we might do just a black jacket on the merchandise store if you want.
That would look good.
You know, a members only jacket or something like
Yeah.
that. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool. People like your jackets. I was telling them to Wenger before. Do you know who Wenger is? The Super Harem guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about your jacket before. I'm like, that would be cool with the Super Harem artwork on the back. And he's like, yeah. That's how he talks. He just says, yeah. No, he says a lot of stuff, but it's one of the things he says. But
yeah, we can do runs and stuff like that for him if he wants to do that.
All right, we'll get you up to get you guys connected. We can do that.
That'd be awesome.
All right, so Magic Cop's moving along. So you guys had this is the way that things go. You had this ups and downs where somebody backed the Elliot Fernandez cover, which was amazing, and then had to back out the next day. I predict because his wife found out. Probably. I mean, unfortunately, it just kind of does work that way where it's like, you can't spend money on this. Yeah. But everything seems to be selling. So is any of these? Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
No, I am confident that Elliot cover will sell. I think it just needs to get in front of somebody, in front of the right person, and then, it'll move because that thing's going to be a one-of-a-kind piece of art.
Yeah, Elliot Fernandez is always in demand. I loved his work when I first saw it. He's as good as anybody in COMICSGATE. He really is. I mean, Ethan included, really. Ethan's phenomenal. I've seen work that Elliot has done, though, that's just outstanding work. He did a Wolverine and Hulk piece, I think, that was just kind of a bang out from Drawn and Quarter, but people went berserk for it. So he spent more time on it, and then he eventually sold it, but went for a fortune. I forgot what it was, but yeah, people just loved it. So what's taking off the most for you? Like that you really see that you're getting some action with the signed book?
Yeah, the single signed book is probably the biggest commodity in demand. It's $25, $10 shipping, so it's a pretty good deal. We were kind of hoping to move more of that bunchered bundle, for the $45 tier.
Yeah.
But I think that there's kind of like an oversaturation in the market right now. I think there's so many really good comics out there that it's kind of hard to not have to spread your cash around, and buy buy limited.
That is true. Behind the scenes, if I could, you can't edit this now. Actually, the way you would edit it, if you wanted to, would be that you would hide. All right. So here's a suggestion I'm going to make. I was originally calling my Ashcan making of edition or something like that, the making of book. Yeah. And it is a making of book, but it also can be, you could also consider it an Ashcan easily. So when I first offered it, I was kind of looking at what people had purchased before. So I was looking at a lot of Ethan's too, because the thing is not that like even the fact that like my comic book for College of the Dead, it's not a comic book, it's a graphic novel.
Right.
But also I called it a comic book because Ethan called Cyberfrog a comic book, and someone else called their obvious graphic novel a comic book. And
that's what Phil said too.
Yeah, people just they're used to certain terminology and they have certain expectations along with it. And it's not like it's wildly misleading to call it a comic book. So, if that's what they want, you call it a comic book. When you say Ashcan, people know what you mean by Ashcan.
Mm-hmm.
When you say behind the scenes, it doesn't even say behind the scenes book. So
Right.
to glance at it, I don't know what the fuck that is.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So what I would do and Simon, correct me if you think it's not good advice, because Simon gives phenomenal advice on this kind of stuff. He studied it a lot. I would say sign book and ash can.
Sure, I agree. I think
You know?
we had to pull that fancy switcheroo at the beginning, and luckily we caught it because there was some tier pricing errors that we hadn't fixed before we launched.
Okay.
So we had to do that, where we hid the one thing and then put out another one, and we've corrected everything so far. But I agree with what you're saying. I wish that there was slightly more text that you could put in the title of something, because it's really hard to kind of choose your words to get.
What did I do?
Specifically,
the wording of what I did worked. It was good, and I copied it from other, like really simple. So you know what? This is what you got to do, brother. Let's talk about this a little bit. I don't know if you can change the title of the campaign even, but Simon, yes or no? Instead of Magic Cop Drop Dead Legs, we would say Magic Cop comic book. That's it.
You could just say Magic Cop and it will work.
Yeah, but Drop Dead Legs is a fine subtitle. There's nothing wrong with it. But the thing is you want to hit people with, what am I buying? They're like, all right, Magic Cop comic book. That's it.
My point of view on it is I understand why they did, because they wanted people to understand that it was a bit corny and funny.
What's fucking corny?
Am I right?
Look at the artwork.
Am I right? That's
you have a werewolf with a shotgun.
Me when I did Payback's a Bitch or Adept in Blood. It's just a little to show that there's a funny side to the book.
That going on too. All right. Well, there's nothing terrible about it. People obviously, when they go to it, they know what it is. It's a stylistic choice.
And me, as you were talking about the ash can, my what I've noticed is what sells a lot is if you offer an ash can that has a complementary story or something that was before, like maybe like an origin of somebody, a story that happened before, or that will complement something that happened during,
Sure. Yeah.
If you do something like that, it sells a lot, especially if it has to do with that book.
Well, I think on the ash can, people just need to know, like, what the hell is, what is it? Roughly, what is it? Like when people see the visual from College of the Dead, the ash can is 8.5, 11. The book is set, the comic is 7x10. But the way it's set off in the foreground, it does look like it's much taller. It's not that much taller, but it's physically substantially larger book. But you kind of get a sense that, like, all right, it's two separate books, and that's it. Sometimes people will ask you, like, what the hell is with this giant ash can? But so I have a good explanation for that. But a lot of people that are buying the ash can don't know what it is. And some people have heard me on streams talking about it. I don't have a video that explains it. I think
it's technically the size of a manga.
What,
That's what it means. An ash can, they used to always be the size of a manga and have like 5 to 10 pages in it. And they used to preview like an upcoming comic.
Yeah.
I remember we had the Pit one. There was,
Yeah. Image did that. You could do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
But it's just good that people understand it's a book. I don't know if as a title, I don't know if making of or behind the scenes. Anything to people.
I agree. We probably should go back and change that now, especially because we have the colored version of Elliot's cover.
Yeah.
And the book comes with that. But we didn't have it at the time. So, and now, unfortunately, you can't edit the pictures and stuff once.
Yeah. You can't edit the pictures probably or the description or anything.
No, yeah, you can't do anything. I really wish that you could.
Well, here's what you could do, brother. It's not that hard. Well, you're someone else's brother, but you are my brother in comics. You make you hide this, you change this from visible to hidden. You just make a new perk.
Yeah.
And the only thing missing is your history of two claim.
Right.
I had better graphics done on, I don't know if you could see my screen, but Alejandro, I can't recall his last name. Sorry, Alejandro. Alejandro did this beautiful blood background stuff for me for College of the Dead. He did this graphic, but he redid all my graphics to do that. But people had bought some of them. so I wasn't able to use his blood graphics without hiding the other ones. And I was kind of nervous to hide them, to be like, well, then it'll show that no one bought the comic.
Right.
So it's like, maybe I'll change them over time. And I'm like, I never got around to doing it. And I was like, that's kind of stupid too. But I added this one tier for anybody that wants to just make sure I get funded. Just so like, all right, I want 5 of everything. For that, I was able to use his new artwork for it. But in any case, I don't think you have that same problem. So if it said signed book and ash can, or comic book and ash can, or signed comic, if I were you, I would just copy what worked for me. Signed comic book plus ash can.
Sure.
And if it's signed, then I would say signed comic book plus signed ash can.
Yeah, and I think that changing the cover to the colored version is going to make it that much more intriguing for people, because
it might. It's just that the thing with a description of a title is people have to comprehend it as best as possible, like within a second or maybe a second and a half.
Right, because I bet they are not even like clicking on it and going through the tiers to see what.
I wasn't.
I'm just,
but no. And the other thing is, you don't want people confused either.
Right.
Confusion is like not good for selling.
In business they say it's the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid.
I don't think it's called branded stupid. No, I know. It's a big funny. Yeah, I've known that. We always use the same thing. Keep it simple.
Yeah,
we do that all the time with my normal work stuff. We yell at people to stop complicating things. But yeah, signed comic book and plus signed ash can, and then we'll sell more of them. I was surprised how many I've sold of these. We've sold almost as many of these comic plus ash can as the comic.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
extra material.
The format just kind of works, and featured works. People see you, they like you, they look at like, all right, well, this is the thing, and it's featured. How much is it? Okay, I'll just buy it. If it's too expensive, then they will take a look down at the next tier, and then they'll buy that thing.
That's what I was going to ask Brendan, if they did that with the 45. If they put that in, they could attract more attention to it. That's what I did with the $50 one, and I started selling a lot more. Yeah.
What did you do?
I put the $50 as the featured perk because and I sold a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, it does seem like that actually works. That's another Ethan trick.
And you put in the feature the deal. You're getting the most out of, because I know that at 50 you're only paying a $5 extra shipping. You're getting 2 books plus an exclusive art print that's signed and numbered. So to me, it was like the best deal out of everything. So you put that as your featured perk.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to spend $25 on a comic book, or they could spend $50 and really get more value out of it, they're doing it. That's the value they get. And there's such a difference between cost and value. I wanted to do a video on this because people aren't concerned with what something costs you to make. They're concerned with what they're going to get out of doing it. So when you come up with a price, the price should always be less than the value, but it should also be a lot more than the cost. You're not doing it to break even, but you're doing it to give people a great value.
Yep.
So people really have to look at what works for other people. We have to always be learning and always watching what works for other people and see if it fits with what we're doing. I'm looking at what you guys are all doing with digital. I didn't offer any digital.
You should. You could go at it. No problem.
I think Brandon would be offended if I did, because I'd be copying off him.
Do it. I mean, it's up to you. We did it just because we figured that it's so easy to pirate stuff now anyway. So nobody's gonna stop the guy just from scanning in.
It's not gonna
comic book,
And there's no production cost on the product.
Right.
Have you ever made a PDF before? That's a pain in the neck. No, I'm only kidding.
No, it's not that hard.
No, I know. If you're gonna print a book, you have to be able to generate a PDF. So you do a lower PDF. So hopefully people aren't actually publishing from it. I guess I really ought to, because I'm not against that.
Make sure that you put them in low enough res, like you say, that they cannot print them or publish them.
50 DPI.
Yeah.
No, not 50, but probably like 100, right?
But you could put it at 100 DPI and reduce the size of the page, because usually they're 11 by 17 or 8 by something after you reduce them for a comic. But you can put them in the size of just the size of the reader that they usually have, so that they can see the size of a manga, so people can read them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to do that, and I think it should be the full price of the book. I like how you guys do that.
Yeah, we did that because clearly it works in the video game industry. I haven't bought a disc video game in years, and I don't have any discs for anything anymore. It costs exactly the same as any other video game that I would buy.
Yeah.
So,
And Scott from Door Kickers is every time he gets into the digital, he's like, so he's going through his perks. He's like, all right, so we have the digital, and it's the full value of the print, but there's no shipping. And people have told me they think it's expensive. He kind of explains that whole thing, and I'm always like, oh, it's he tells people the whole story. That's good. It is expensive, but it's like, all right, well, if you want, it all costs money. It costs thousands of dollars to make these comic books too. So yeah, it does get to be pricey. But it doesn't help. I see guys like Wenger actually has a lower priced digital, and a lot of people backed him at like an $8 level.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of backers, and he's got a decent average too. His average backing is, I think I was looking, it's like 300 backers at just under $40 or something. But I think a lot of it got driven down by the digital being a little too cheap.
I mean, that's why I went to like $10 less. I was gonna do 5, and I went like, I'll put it at 15. Like that, it's reasonable for a digital copy. It's not half the price, but just a little bit less. So,
I think for me, I have to think about digital versions of. Maybe I'll do digital versions at full price, like a son of a bitch. But we do need to make money too. But digital versions at full price for. I have 3 versions of the book because of the ash can, which is a 100-page book. It does have a lot of content in it. It's got extra character sketches too that don't appear anywhere else. But yeah, we could do that. And then I could see people. Sometimes people prefer digital anyway for how they want to read.
Yep.
Right? And they can save the file and stuff.
That's what some people told me, that they prefer their comics in digital, and I'm like, okay, then that gives me a reason of doing it.
Yeah. Maybe after the campaign ends, I can add it.
And I also saw it as extra money for maybe problems that you meet in shipping, or extra costs or something.
I think for us, we should always be thinking about other formats as much as possible. So digital, is nothing wrong with us doing digital.
Nope.
Not at all. So
I see it as a padding.
Yeah, I wanted to keep this first campaign simple. And then, Simon, you were so helpful to me as I was coming up with other different crazy ideas of like, all right, I could come up with this guy gets drawn on this extra cover version of this, your zombie death on a cover, and all sorts of other things. And like, a lot of ideas, but there is a benefit to keeping things really simple.
Yep.
And then you get your groove going, and then you start figuring out, all right, this is what works for me. That might work for me.
You try to keep them simple. You try not to go over 7 tiers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You try to keep your at least 2 high T tiers, the high level ones, and the lower one, and the lower one, you try to keep them, and their money's worth, you could say.
Yeah. But there should be a way that if people love you and love your campaign, and they want to spend $500, they should have a way to do that.
Exactly. That's why I say the DIT tiers.
Yeah.
That's why you have the big ones in the end.
High T as in high testosterone?
Yep.
Very sexy. Very, very sexy. Okay. Cool. All right, let's cruise a little bit more through our Magic Cop mission. All right, so we renamed the featured book. That will sell more and make more money. That's important. All right, we got the digital version down. The signed book with naughty prints, because Brandon likes nudity, which is good.
Yeah.
Nudity it does sell, and there'll be uncensored prints. Signed book. When you say signed book, I think it helps to say comic book. I know it sounds a little goofy, but it's worth thinking about at least.
Phil was like, books are stupid and nobody likes books, and that's why we're not calling it a novel.
People love books, but you're selling comic books. You're selling graphic novels and comic books. So somehow it does take something away if it doesn't have the word comic. I don't know why.
Yeah, you put signed comic.
Yeah, I mean, a signed book is different than yeah, it's true. I mean, a signed book is something that you get from your favorite author, and like, oh, he signed my book for me, and like that's cool. but you already not from a new author that you don't know.
Yeah, but technically, a book is just the fact that you have to cover with paper in it. You can have a cooking book, you can have a recipe, like a
Yeah, it's not a
3D
comic.
animation book.
It's not
A
as special
novel,
as
a
a book.
novel, it's an author that writes you a story. That's
Yeah,
why
but
people
in a
use.
comic book, like we all love comic books from when we were kids.
There you go.
That's the memory.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who
That's what
knows?
you're trying to replicate here.
Yeah, give that good feeling back. Just give us some money, we'll give you that good feeling.
Yeah,
It's
entertainment.
just that simple.
Exactly. 2 signed books or comic books.
Yeah, I don't think anybody bought that one. I could change that one real easy.
Well, yeah. Well, the only thing is you want to think, just be consistent too, so that
Yeah.
if you have a signed book and then you have 2 signed comic books, then you've really confused people.
What? Yeah.
You just got to be careful like that. You just don't want to cause confusion. When people
Sure.
start asking you, what is this and what is that? I just wanted to ask you this. It's like, oh shit, it's not simple enough. No, it's not a bad thing that it's called book. It really isn't. It's just, we're just tweaking, coming up with ideas, having a little
Sure.
fun.
And most people aren't even going to put in the effort to ask that question. They're just going to be like, "Well, this doesn't make any sense." And then
Well, you
leave it
sell
alone.
things to people. Yeah, you're right. People, if they just get turned off. We were talking about your leprechaun guy who looks ridiculous, but he's a very cool ridiculous. I've never seen such a tall leprechaun, and he's just funny. We were talking about him earlier in the show. He's cool.
Yeah, he's actually half leprechaun, half giant. Phil wrote him, so I don't remember which one. I think his mom's the giant.
Half leprechaun, half giant. I like that one.
This is a mixed relation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good. They, boy, he's probably had a hard childhood.
I couldn't imagine growing up like in high school being a half leprechaun, half giant.
Well, maybe there are a lot of those types, but it's magic. It's magic.
Yeah.
Town. What is the name of their town?
They live and work in Ambrosia.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we really wanted to go with something that didn't have the word city at the end of it because I feel like that's too simple and it's overdone. So we wanted something like Chicago or Miami or New York, like you don't have a ton of cities that have the name city in them, and you just don't.
Yeah, Ambrosia is a cool name. It is a cool name. Food of the gods, right?
Food of the gods, exactly.
Yep.
Food of the gods, baby. Book and behind the scenes and prints. Yeah, people need to know what behind the scenes means.
Yeah,
that's the trick.
I'm remaking that tier for you right now. Just
Awesome.
trying to make a new piece of art.
The retailer pack. I mean, I don't know if we're going to sell anything to any retailers. There's nothing wrong with having it.
Yeah.
What I did is I was screwing around and made a tier that was like 10 copies at 50% off. So what discount are you offering for the retailer pack?
I think that's a 20% discount on that one because you get basically for $105 you get 5 books and a poster. So the books are $25 each. So you're basically getting a free book and a poster.
Now, with retailers, a retailer usually is going to get, like, look at what Ethan did with Cyberfrog. Those guys are going to make money hand over fist because that stuff's going right up on eBay. They're going to make a lot of money.
Oh,
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go. I have to get back to work.
All right, man. We will talk later. Thank you for dropping in on us, Simon. Thank you so much for all your support.
You will always get my support, and I will keep sharing and talk to you tomorrow, Brendan.
Yeah, all right. Cool, man.
Have a great night.
See you later, Adam.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, bud. Be good.
Bye.
See you later.
Take it easy. So what are we talking about with the retailer in terms of the discount? So what I would look at is just look at what Ethan was offering. Actually, he offered discounts twice, I noticed. And it was the first time it was a bigger discount than the second time. But it was still like at least they were going to get like 40% off. Because the thing is, you do it so that the economics work.
Sure.
Oh, cool. Ed is taken off.
There goes the last of the viewers.
Well, what do we got? 3?
Yeah, I think we got 3 right now.
I don't know how many is us, but that's okay. Let's talk a little. We'll talk a little more, and then I shouldn't be up endlessly. 3 hours, and this is my longest stream ever, Brandon.
Sorry, I'm sorry for hijacking it.
No, it's not a hijack. This is what you do on these streams. You look at other people's stuff. Where the hell is this? Hold on a second.
Somebody will learn from this.
We are. It's just it's honestly it's good experience, people. The other thing is that people do rewatch streams.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's just good to. It's good in the community for everybody to see everybody else out there and everybody helping each other, and you get to talk and people get to know you a little bit who don't know you. I didn't even know that we're connected. I know who you are because but I didn't realize we were connected on Twitter. It's good for everybody, and it's good for everyone else that you're gonna keep talking to. And I've reached out to Antonio on after your stream.
Oh yeah.
And he messaged me. He's a great guy, and I'm supposed to be on his show tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't been on there before that.
You know what it is he's cool, but he's in like a different circle. I'm in the circle of like Simon and Red Gaze, and it's like the more indie guys, even the smaller. And Antonio is right up there with John Malin and EVS.
Oh, okay.
Used to be Mike Miller and stuff. So I didn't really directly know anyone who knew Antonio. So I just kind of dealt with the guys who I knew. And then I did message John Malin, but he didn't get back to me twice. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to harass John Malin. John, if the streams connect and we find love, then I will be on Malin's show at some point, I'm sure. But I'm just not in the circles. But once I'm on in Antonio's, who knows? Maybe I wind up on Malin's. But anyway, so the thing to do is I would suggest just take a look at first of all, the thing with you guys are offering the poster. Theoretically, it's good, but a retailer's not typically going to put up a poster like that. And
usually they just give it away. It's not like Phil gets retailer posters all the time because you're right. They don't have wall space to put up stuff like that. For us, it wasn't about that. It like Phil wanted that poster to be the cover and then just to say some stuff on it. And I really want it to be something else. So I'm going to do a completely different piece of art exclusive for that poster. Hey, if nobody buys it, nobody's going to buy it. But whoever has it, there will be that exclusive piece of art out there. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
So, but look at the discounts and look at how much money people were spending, because if a retailer spends $100 and he can make back another and he can turn that into $200, that's something a retailer can do. If a retailer has to spend, especially a 20% discount, and then he's got to pay shipping on top of that, I don't know if you have shipping or not, but I mean, like they've got to be able to. It's Keystone, they call it. You know that from you guys are in promotional printing and stuff like that. But if a retailer buys something, they want to try and make a profit on it. Or you might get somebody who's going to sell them on eBay. I would think in terms of like, what would that eBay guy be doing? With buying these things for maybe they're $15 each and they can flip them for 25. But you just make sure there's a little room in there for those dudes. I don't know.
Yeah, we could definitely mess with that because there's room. There's always room. Of course, we're not going to print these books for $25, a copy, and then sell them for $25 a copy. So, that's something that we should really think about.
Yeah, let them hustle. But I would look at Ethan's numbers. And it worked for Ethan because people knew they were going to buy them and speculate on them. Everyone knows that there's a demand for whatever Ethan's publishing. He's created that demand over 20 years or whatever. So, people are buying them just to flip on eBay or to speculate on them. They're probably not going to speculate on my books as much. They're not going to speculate on your books as much. But somebody might try it and you see where it goes. Your concept it's very cool. So somebody could like run into it and fall in love with it. Of course, everyone loves the jacket and you have the original art.
Yeah. We just have to get out of, like you're saying, like you're kind of you get stuck in that circle of people that and it's kind of hard to get out of that. So
yeah, but and you guys are doing good though. You guys have been on a bunch of shows.
yeah, and it's cool. Like we haven't, our YouTube channel is small still, but we haven't really done like streams too much where we bring people in like you got, like you and
The Wengers and
some of the other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Mandy's thing just exploded. I don't know what was up with that. That's crazy, So
Yeah, Mandy's
these people
fun.
that are just kind of doing that that viral marketing by bringing other people onto their show.
You know what? It does help. It helps. It helps other people. It helps you.
Yeah.
And then they retweet the show because they're on it, and we don't all have the same followers. And yeah, it does expand it, and it also it's not as much burden on you doing your own live stream by yourself. And I really haven't done much of any of that at all. Like I haven't. Like Ethan can get onto a live stream and just like start making it incredibly entertaining, and you want to watch the whole. It's like very impressive. It took him a long time to build up to that.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a good middle step to be on, have a few other people on, have some fun, talk about some articles. We talk about the Spider-Man stuff, make some jokes, respond to the chats, and everybody has a good time. But yeah, it takes practice, and I'm not really used to doing it myself either. It's just you kind of get into it, you have fun with it, and then you're good to go.
You get some good guys on here, and there's always good conversations and stuff going on. There's
it's cool, right?
Controversies. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you guys are fun too, man. You guys are a lot of fun. The Los Hermanos Magic Hop, as I like to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. We'll get your brother on next time too.
Yeah, he's out with his lady friend.
Good for him, doing his thing.
Yeah,
very cool, man. All right, let me let you rock and roll. We'll wrap it for the night. Congratulations on the early success of Magic Hop. Many great things to come.
Yeah, and, hopefully it keeps moving. You're super close to your goal, right?
Oh, you know what? Maybe we made the goal and we don't even know it. Yeah, we are very close to the goal. Hold on a second, Magic Hop, brother. Hermano de Magic Hop. We could be very close. Creep up. 47.90. All right, we're not there just yet. We have 26 hours to make it happen. 47.90, 95% funded. I don't think the world will let me not fund this. Unfortunately, we didn't get the thrill of doing it tonight, but we will work very hard and make it happen tomorrow.
It'll happen.
That's what it's all about. We will make sure it happens.
They go down to that wire, and then they get funded.
Yeah, and I think that we get a little help from Indiegogo with the algorithm. They start letting you move around a little bit. When it gets toward the end, they have like ending soon, so they kind of help people out a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys are definitely going to fund too. It's funny when it's someone else's campaign. It is easier to look at it and be like, "Hey, dummy, of course you're going to get fucking funded." Like, yeah, but I don't know. We have to see. It's like, yeah, because but that's what friends are for too. Because it's like people aren't lying to you. They're like, all right, yeah, that's all right. We're going to make it work. But what's cool too is I'll tell you this much, and then we'll call it a night. These last couple of days, when I was getting closer and closer to the goal and closer to the end, and just to see people that are like, we've got to get Adam funded. Come on, let's do this. I don't know these guys that long. They're just freaking all pitching in, just being great people. They want to see me succeed. They want to see me hit that goal. That's a really good feeling, just to even really know that, like, yeah, there are these people that are concerned about you. I have a friend of mine who is like, listen, Adam, I'm going to back you no matter what. I'm going to make sure you make the goal. And a couple of days ago, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll take him up on that and let him do it because he has a lot of money. But I was like, nah, you know what? Let me just do it legitimately. Let me see. Because because you don't want someone just doing it because they're your friend or something like that.
Right.
You want to hit your goal, but you don't want to you want to legitimately hit the goal. So no, let me hustle. Let me let's get the word out or whatever. And I'm really glad you do it that way because it's like you just do it the right way, hit those numbers. And then it's just a great feeling to even get anywhere near this close.
Sure. And then you're going to go in demand, and then it's going to be out there. I don't know when you're going to print, but that's going to be awesome.
We're going to print absolutely as soon as possible. And I think I'm going to stay in demand for a while. I have to, even if it's like second printings or whatever, I have to keep the books in print. To me, like The Walking Dead is always in print. You know, they're not even making new ones, and the thing is in print. It'll always be in print. It'll be in print long after the guy's dead. So, yeah, I mean, this book costs more money than this book costs thousands of dollars to produce, and we want to hit numbers. But the trick is you keep these things in print, and then hopefully people, at number 2 comes out and they want a reprint of number 1. And it helps to build the whole thing. So I want to try and ship these in September if I can. I'm going to really, I'm going to try and like do that. I had some, because the book is done. So I was kind of like, this is a crazy idea. Don't do this. I was thinking of shipping the books before the campaign ended, because we could, technically we could have, but my friend talked me out of that because it's too bizarre. It's like a little too crazy that the campaign didn't even end and then people are getting their books. But maybe I'll do it next time because it is crazy. I don't know. I want to get people these books,
sometimes
man.
Crazy works.
Sometimes crazy works. I want people to get these books. I want to see the pictures on Twitter of people like, hey, I got this book and this came out good and everything was in good shape. And I'm really psyched to get it out there. All right, man. On that note, you have a great night. Keep doing the Magic Cop magic. And I will be seeing you online. And I'm glad I know exactly who you are on Twitter now and we can connect easy.
Awesome.
All right, brother. God bless. Have a good night.
Good night.
The end.